development partners, of course, healthcare personnel, PS2, PS1 also, from the Ministry of Health, DPS, directors of the Ministry of Health, and of course all senior staff of the Ministry of Health, and members of various healthcare service providers across the region from the length and breadth of the Gambia. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it's a warm welcome to this important event, which is the highlight of achievements in the health sector, which is a World Bank midterm review of the Gambia Essential Health Service Strengthening Project. My name is Momotin Jai, and I'll be the co-MC for this event, and the main host is my able boss, PS Mohamed Jaite, who is sitting right next to me. But first, before we start the program, I would wish to call on the police band to lead us to the national anthem of the Gambia. You may all rise for the national anthem of the Gambia. Thank you. The police band, please. Thank you very much. You may take your seats. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, before start, my greetings with the Honorable Minister of Health, Dr. Ahmad Lamin Samate, who is the grand host of this event today. Of course, members of the High Table. We are here to highlight achievements of the health sector. From the length and breadth of this country, it is no doubt that the Ministry of Health has achieved a lot. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, before we go further, I would please want you all to please give a round of applause to the very ministry and the World Bank that has organized this important event. At this point, as tradition demands, we would start with prayers, and I would wish to call on Mr. Lamin Fati to lead us into prayers. Do we have Mr. Fati in our midst? Do we have Mr. Fati in our midst? Or we can have a volunteer to lead us into prayers. Okay, someone is coming. So it's Ramadan. I believe we have a lot of imams in our midst today. Thank you.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله وحده والصلاة والسلام على من لا نبي بعده أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم وبارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم في العالمين إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم بك أصبحنا وبك أمسينا وبك نحيا وبك نموت وإليك النشور. اللهم صل وسلم على نبينا وحبيبنا وشفيعنا ومطاعنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون والسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين.
Ameen. May Allah accept the prayers. Could we have a volunteer for the Christian prayers also? Good. Mr. Mendy, he is the Director of Health Promotion and Education, but today he's turned to a pastor.
Let's begin our prayers in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. God, our Father in heaven, you are the Most High, the Creator of heaven and earth. Your name is holy. We glorify your name, we praise you, and we thank you for your love. Today we have gathered here to celebrate our achievement, which happened through your guidance. You are the master planner, and you guide us in implementing your plans. We thank you and glorify your name. We thank you for your love. We thank you for the gift of life. We have gathered here. Send us your Holy Spirit and your blessings, your hope and love. May we continue to live in your peace. We thank you for making the Gambia, our homeland, a peaceful country. We thank you and keep glorifying your name. You are the most merciful, full of compassion. Do not look into our sins, but into our faith in you. Forgive us our sins and help us forgive those who sin against us. Deliver us from all kinds of temptations and the evils. For the kingdom, the power, and glory are yours now and forever. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mendy, for those powerful prayers. An extension of a warm welcome to the diplomatic and consular corps, various traditional and, of course, religious leaders, and importantly, members of the National Assembly, and, of course, by extension, all senior and junior officers of the health sector. You are all cordially welcome. Please clap for yourselves. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, my role here is very limited and not so significant, because today is a day that is a day to showcase electricity cut again during the session. Thank you very much. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, like I initially said, today is a special day for the Ministry of Health and its partners. And as the host of the event on this podium, I will just be moderating it. But of course, we will have very interesting activities on the lineup. And I will just want to draw reference to the program guide, if all of you are having the program. We will briefly have the introductory remark by the Minister of, or rather the PS at the Ministry of Health, who is no other than Mr. Mohammed Lamin Jaite. Please give him a round of applause, please. We will equally have a remark by Ms. Femi Borosfi, World Bank resident representative, who is also here on the high table. Please give her a round of applause too. Thereafter, we will have a documentary video on environmentally friendly healthcare waste management, and the video will be introduced by Dr. Buba Manjang, who is the Director of Public Health. We will have another music interlude, but this time, since we're in the holy month of Ramadan, the police have promised to play in some nice religious tunes. So please give the police band a round of applause too. We will therefore, after that program guide or program itinerary, we will have a documentary on Gambia birth and health insurance registration success story. And the video will be introduced by Mr. Lamin Fati, who is the Registrar Births and Deaths at the Ministry of Health, followed by a presentation of the Electronic Civil Registration and Vital Statistics Dashboard by the WCC Group. We'll have a postgraduate medical training program presentation by Professor Yankuba Gassama, who is also in our midst. We'll also have a presentation by a postgraduate nursing program, Dr. Jennifer Sisao, followed, of course, for both presentations by a beneficiary testimonial. We will have a presentation on the ongoing construction and equipment at Farato of the National Emergency Treatment Center Intensive Care Unit, Emergency Observation and Treatment Center, the National Public Health Laboratory and Training Center, the National Blood Transfusion Center, Conference Center and Diagnostic Imaging Center by SPML Group. That's the country head himself. We'll also look at the government response to the epidemic of acute kidney injuries in the Gambia, the proposed design and construction of a new food and drug quality control laboratory at Brusubi, and of course a new biomedical engineering unit at Farato by Dr. Mustafa Bitey, Director of Health Services. Please give him a round of applause too. We will have additional comments on the additional constructions and renovations, another 5-minute documentary video on COVID-19 emergency response by Mr. Abdullah Imam Jai, Project Coordination Unit at the Ministry of Health. Please give him a round of applause, please. We'll have a project midterm review by Dr. Samuel Mills, who is the task team leader of the World Bank, who is also sitting on the high table. Please give him a round of applause. Of course, importantly, remarks by the Honorable Minister of Health, Dr. Ahmad Lamin Samate. Please give him a big round of applause. It seems we're hungry. Can we have another round of applause for him, please? Thank you very much. I know the Ramadan hasn't gone far. We actually had what we call the header a few hours ago, so we should be very energetic at this time. Eh? So from the address by Dr. Ahmadul Lamin Samate, we will have a religious interlude by the Gambia Police Band, and the program shall wrap up. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, this is the program guide for today, and I wish to also announce that this program is currently ongoing live on all the local national televisions of this country. That is QTV, Star TV, GRTS, Eyeafrica TV, and Paradise TV. Simultaneously, from the local terrestrial broadcasting, they are also broadcasting it online, so you can also watch it through their Facebook page. Equally also, they have synchronized it with their various radio stations, Paradise Radio, GRTS Radio, Star FM Radio, to make sure this information and this important occasion reaches every Gambian across the length and breadth of the country. Ministry of Health has a lot to celebrate. Please give yourselves a big round of applause. And now, I would wish to hand over the mic to the Permanent Secretary Ministry of Health, P.S. Mohammed Lamin Jaite, of course, a great man who has been behind the scenes actively participating in this event. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, please give P.S. Mohammed Lamin Jaite a big round of applause, please.
Thank you very much, Master of Ceremony. His Excellency, the President of the Republic of the Gambia, Mr. Adam Barrow, represented here by the Honorable Minister of Finance and Economic Affairs, Mr. Sidi Keita. Honorable Speaker and his representative and members of the National Assembly here present, Honorable Minister of Health and other cabinet ministers here present, my colleague, Permanent Secretary 2, Dr. Janabaka, and the entire staff of the Ministry of Health, colleague Permanent Secretaries from other ministries here present and other senior government functionaries, the World Bank resident representative and staff, head of the World Bank mission and team members, the resident coordinator and heads of other UN agencies here present, the ambassador of the United States of America, and other members of the diplomatic and consular corps, distinguished audience, members of the high table, the press, ladies and gentlemen. As I graciously welcome you all, please allow me first and foremost to register on behalf of the Honorable Minister of Health and indeed the entire Ministry of Health fraternity heartfelt thanks and sincere gratitude to His Excellency the President for accepting our invitation. His Excellency's approval of this very important event is yet another demonstration of his passion and strong leadership commitment that he has always provided in our collective strive towards ensuring high standard of quality healthcare delivery in our beloved country, the Gambia. Let me seize this opportunity to express and recognize that in our crusade to better the healthcare system, the ministry under His Excellency's dynamic leadership have been fortunate to have the World Bank among its many dedicated and supportive health development partners, without whose intervention and timely assistance through its country office under the able stewardship of Madame Faye Borofis and our able health task team leader in the person of Dr. Samuel Lenti Mills. This event and all that it's about to showcase would have been difficult to achieve. We would like to thank the World Bank for being always there for the Gambia. May I further please put on record the unflinching coaching support rendered to the Ministry of Health by the Honorable Ministers, past and present, of the Ministry of Finance and Economic Affairs throughout the course of our engagements with the World Bank, and for always considering and prioritizing health in the allocation of the country portfolio. Excellencies, distinguished audience, we are here today to witness this event after a very long and difficult journey. Thanks to the Almighty Allah and our exemplary, hardworking and caring minister, Dr. Ahmadou Lamin Samate, Dr. Samate is a statesman par excellence who have proven beyond every doubt to be exceedingly committed, competent, and true to the country, the Gambia, and the government of the day. Only Allah the Almighty will reward him for his endless sacrifice and tolerance. On this short note, and without further ado, I wish to wholeheartedly welcome each and every one of you to this highlight event organized to showcase the projects and activities implemented through the funding support from the World Bank to the Ministry of Health. I will not conclude without recognizing in our midst the chairman of the Public Service Commission, who has come to show support to this event. Chairman, you are welcome. May Almighty Allah grant all of us the best reward and blessings of this holy month of Ramadan. I thank all of you for listening. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mohammed Lamin Jaite, PS, Ministry of Health, for that brilliant and wonderful statement you have just made. Distinguished guests, please give him a round of applause once more. I now call on the World Bank representative, Ms. Faye Boroshi, to also make a remark in this important event. Please give her a round of applause, please.
Thank you. Just for the record, my name is Faye Borofis. Honorable Minister of Finance and Economic Affairs, Mr. Keita, representing His Excellency, the President. Honorable Minister of Health, Dr. Samati. Honorable Cabinet Ministers in attendance, members of the Diplomatic Corps, representatives of the development partners, including the UN and other agencies, Permanent Secretary, and staff of the Ministry of Health, Permanent Secretaries and staff of other ministries and institutions present, staff of the World Bank, ladies and gentlemen. All other protocols dutifully and respectfully observed. You are all welcome. It's really amazing to see everyone here, even as we are starting Ramadan, wishing you all a holy month. Good to see you all here. We appreciate your attendance. And we want to welcome you really to this event, which is highlighting World Bank support to the healthcare sector in the Gambia. This is actually part of the midterm review of the Gambia Health Services Strengthening Project. Typically for our projects, in the middle of the project, we have what we call a midterm review, where we stock take and see what has happened. And we plan for the next half of the project. So typically, you have a team, they go, they have meetings, they discuss with the government, and we end up with a report that we submit. As you can see, this team is different, right? I have never seen this, and I'm so impressed. I want to, and it really just goes to show you how much has been achieved under this project in the few years that we've had it. So I want to just take a moment for us all to recognize the task team leader of the project, Dr. Samuel Mills. He has done an amazing job, and we at the bank are just so proud of what he has been able to spearhead with the government of the Gambia over the past few years. I also want to recognize the Ministry of Health, of course, the Honorable Minister, and also the Project Implementation Unit. I mean, I think the Ministry of Health events are the most amazing events I've been to. I've been to several events here. This is amazing. Well done. Well done. So you know how to heal us and also how to, keep us entertained. So really, kudos to you. So I'm very honored to be here today to take part in this event, which is meant to highlight, as I said, the achievements registered under the project. Now, the Gambia has seen many positive changes in the health sector over the past few years, and the World Bank is very proud to be part of that progress. What we have been working with the government, really, we ramped up our efforts from the beginning of the pandemic. Actually, our COVID-19 project was one of the first projects in the World Bank across the globe. It was approved in record time in April 2020. And at that time, Sam had even just come to the Gambia, so how he was able to do it, I don't know. I wasn't even here, so I can't take any credit for that. But it was approved in record time at the beginning of the pandemic. And since that time, we have committed $110 million to the health sector in the Gambia. All grants, by the way, grants. I like to make that point. Now, the World Bank has supported health initiatives across the Gambia with a focus on improving access to quality healthcare services for all. Our goal has been and remains to help build a healthcare system that is responsive to the needs of the people and one that ensures that no one is left behind. Over the past few years, we have worked closely with the government of the Gambia, as well as with health professionals, community-based organizations, and other development partners such as the UNDP to achieve this goal. We have supported a range of initiatives to improve health outcomes, including the construction of new healthcare facilities, the renovation of existing ones, and the improvement of equipment and supplies. We have also invested in key areas such as maternal and child health, establishing health insurance, clinical waste management, human resources for health, disease prevention and management, and birth registration. As a result of our collective efforts, we have seen some remarkable improvement in health outcomes across the Gambia. These impressive accomplishments are a reflection of the hard work and commitment of the people of the Gambia, as well as the efforts of the Ministry of Health. However, we know that there's still much work to be done. The challenges facing the health sector in the Gambia are complex and multifaceted, and they require a sustained and concerted effort from all stakeholders. Now, more than ever, countries like the Gambia need to invest more in strengthening their health services and their health systems to make them prepared and more responsive to future pandemics. Investing in healthcare and making healthcare accessible and affordable for all is critical to achieving sustainable development and ending poverty. In closing, I would like to emphasize that the World Bank remains committed to supporting the healthcare in the sector, and we look forward to building on the progress that has been achieved so far. We will continue our partnership with the government and the people of the Gambia to build the kind of health system that will provide comprehensive, equitable, and high-quality care for all. We believe that through our collective efforts, the government of the Gambia can create a health system that meets the needs of all Gambians and that serves as a model for the region and the world. Thank you all for your attention, and I look forward to continuing our dialogue and partnership in the months and years ahead.
Thank you very much. Well, thank you so much, Ms. Faye Boroshi, for that statement. As the MC, I actually had no intention of taking the mic from you because the speech was just excellent. So please give her a round of applause, please. Now, Ms. Faye has actually talked about ladies and gentlemen, a range of activities have been mentioned by Ms. Faye Boroshi, which of course couldn't have been achieved without the dynamic leadership of Honorable Ahmad Lamin Samate and of course the government of the day. Please give them a round of applause too. I wish to also acknowledge, before we proceed, the presence of the Minister of Finance, who is also in our midst, and of course the U.S. Ambassador to the Gambia, who is also a friend of the government, and of course the ministry. Please give both of them a big round of applause too. And of course the Honorable Minister of Communication and Digital Economy, who is also here on the high table, and of course the Minister of Higher Education, Research, Science and Technology. One more round of applause, please. I think this shows the relevance of the program attached by government to the health sector. And not to be biased, I think the health sector is a winning sector. Honorable Minister. So all members of the healthcare providers or the health sector, please give yourself a big round of applause for this event. At this point, I would want to invite Dr. Buba Manjang, who is the Director of Public Health, to introduce a video. There's a documentary video on environmentally friendly healthcare waste management in the Gambia. Dr. Manjang, please give him a round of applause.
Assalamu alaikum. Good morning to you all. I'm introducing a video that shows the work that Ministry of Health, with support from World Bank, did in this country for our population. The achievement is not only Minister of Health, but all of us. Can we clap for ourselves? So the Ministry of Health made an assessment, and we noticed that clinical waste is already a problem. And to solve the problem is not business as usual. So we went in for high-class incinerators to be able to solve the problems, and you will see them working. Gradually, we will be there. We have 7 incinerators in all the 7 regions, covering all the health facilities. We equally went further to provide 40 high-class incinerators for each of the health facilities across the country, in all regions. We also have the EcoSteril 250 series at Farato, and also 75 series at Edward Francis Small Teaching Hospital. This is intended to solve our clinical waste management problem in this country. So let's see how it goes. Thank you very much. Enjoy the video.
For many years, clinical waste management has been a nightmare for the Gambia. Stockpiles of clinical waste are gathered around various hospitals and clinics across the country undisposed.
Today, what His Excellency is inaugurating is the Clinical Waste Management Center, the first of its kind in the history of this country, and many other neighboring countries don't even have such facilities. Now, we have 2 plants, the EcoSteril plants. The smaller one is located at the Edward Francis Small Teaching Hospital, that's the EcoSteril 75. The bigger one is located at the Farato, where we are, His Excellency is inaugurating this today. That's the EcoSteril 250. Now, these use modern waste management technology. They use a microwave system that's going to microwave whatever is put into them and then sterilize them and make them not dangerous for the human beings. And then the residue will be discarded or used for other things. We also have refrigerated waste trucks. Before now, hospital waste are collected in open trucks.
Prior to COVID-19 pandemic in March 2020, healthcare waste management was virtually non-existent in the Gambia. From Banjul to Brikama, healthcare waste was burnt in the open, and this led to the release of harmful air pollutants. These air pollutants can cause cancer and have other adverse health effects. The World Bank financed COVID-19 project has invested over $5 million in establishing environmentally friendly healthcare waste management system in the Gambia.
We have Insana 8, that is an incinerator that we station in various health regions. We have Insana 8 station at Kotu, Central Medical Store to serve Western 1 health region. We have another one stationed at Kafuta, that is to serve Western 2 health region. We have another one stationed at Farafenye to serve North Bank East health region. We have another one stationed at North Bank West in Esau to serve North Bank West. We have another one stationed at Bansang, serving the Central River region. We have another one stationed at Yerobawal, serving Upper River region. Another one at Soma, Mansakonko, serving the LRR region. So all these regions have this magnificent material.
My name is Favor Ekuma, and I am a biomedical engineering technologist for biowaste management and incineration. So basically, this is an incinerator machine for biowaste treatment. That's the fuel tank to supply fuel to the incinerator. The control board, this is where the entire control of the incinerator happens. This is the sensor. It measures the fuel in the tank, primary chamber and secondary chamber, and the burners for both the primary chamber and the secondary chambers. Okay, so it's to be open. Yeah, this is the lead. The primary chamber per se, where the loading happens. And here is the arch door. It's recommended to always have your PPE on. That's your personal protective equipment.
We have Jamba.
Thankfully, today the story is different. With the inauguration of the Clinical Waste Treatment Center at Faratu. It has a state-of-the-art ergosterile waste treatment machine, which is fully automated and employs microwave technology. It can process about 7 tons of waste a day. So it is capable of handling the waste from all the way that is generated from Banjul to Brikama. There are also 4 waste refrigerated trucks along with 120 wheelie bins that can transport the waste from the health facilities to the clinical waste treatment. Additionally, the Ministry of Health is expecting 40 more of these modern incinerators. These will be installed in the rural regions, in the health centers and the hospitals to allow treatment of waste on site, since the transport of waste in the rural areas to a centralized location is going to be a challenge. In a nutshell, the project has supported establishing environmentally friendly healthcare waste management system in the Gambia, and this is going to be a long-lasting impact in the health sector. Thank you.
The World Bank is currently supporting the Ministry of Health with construction and equipment at the tune of about $30 million for the Gambia's National Emergency Treatment Center, also located in Farato. This important facility shall include intensive care unit, emergency observation and treatment center, National Public Health Laboratory and Treatment Center, National Blood Transfusion Center, Diagnostic Imaging Center, and a conference center. This has come at the right time, when the Gambia, like many countries around the world, battle to contain the spread of COVID-19. Thus, the facility, when completed, shall position the Gambia on the right footing to contain national emergencies of health concerns. Key among other activities the World Bank have collaborated with the Ministry of Health include performance-based financing of health facilities nationally, the establishment of the National Health Insurance Authority for the rollout of the National Health Insurance Scheme, the renovation and equipment of the dilapidated asbestos-containing health facilities, revamping of the postgraduate medical training program to Gambian doctors, establishing for the first time Bachelor of Science BSc degree programs for nurse anesthesia and for the midwifery and postgraduate diploma nurse programs for anesthesia, midwifery, pediatrics, and perioperative nursing. Sponsorship of 23 laboratory technicians to obtain a bachelor's degree in laboratory in December 2022. The establishment of an electronic civil registration and vital statistics system, which will serve as the foundation for e-government, thereby making the provision of public services in all sectors more effective and efficient. By no doubt, the establishment of the environmentally friendly clinical waste treatment facility in the country, as well as the procurement of various incinerators, will positively impact the health and well-being of all Gambians. The World Bank, a true partner in development.
The minister a big round of applause. You already did, but please give them one more, please. Now, I have the singular honor to call on the police band to give us a brief entertainment. Then that will be followed by another video to be presented by the Registrar Births and Deaths, Mr. Lamin Fati. The Gambia Police Band, please. Music interlude. Thank you very much, the Gambia Police Band. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I would also wish to acknowledge that in our midst we also have the governor of the West Coast region, who is indeed a proud governor today, because a lot of development initiatives as far as the health sector is concerned is happening around his region. Please give him a round of applause too. I also wish to add that the Ministry of Health Communication Unit is also doing live streaming of this event via its social media handles, that is the Facebook, the Instagram, so you can also get it there. So we have the TV stations plus the radio stations, and of course Ministry of Health also doing the live streaming on its social media handles. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I now invite Mr. Lamin Fati, Registrar, Births and Deaths at the Ministry of Health. Please give him a round of applause, please.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Good morning to you all. Your Excellency, Dr. Adama Barrow, ably represented by Honorable Minister Keita, Honorable Minister of Health, Dr. Ahmad Lamin Samate, Permanent Secretary, Minister of Health, World Bank Country Representative, our able TTL, Dr. Samuel Mills, PC Coordinator, Health Directors, all protocol duly observed. Mr. Chair, allow me to extend my sincere felicitation and gratitude to His Excellency, Dr. Adama Barrow, the President of the Republic of the Gambia, for his immense support to electronic civil registrations by launching the scheme, and his continuous monitoring and supervision through his dedicated minister, Dr. Ahmed Lamin Samate. The transformation process of birth registration from manual to digital has been accomplished thanks to the support of the World Bank and the dedication of the Gambia government. Thus, the video we are about to show will highlight more on the journey and its success stories. But prior to this, I would like to, on behalf of the Ministry of Health and the Gambian people, to thank all service providers, the data entry clerks, the drivers, the security forces, the canvassers, the supervisors, the veterans, and all other administrators that has enabled us to do the mass registration campaign throughout and able to achieve a significant number that we have targeted. We're able to achieve that through the collaboration and support from all others. We thank everybody on this, and we allow the video to showcase whatever we want to tell you move further. Thank you.
For decades, electronic registration of births and deaths of Gambians and those living in the Gambia was virtually non-existent. Stockpiles of manual registration books dating back to time immemorial had existed for several years, making retrieving and processing of vital data a challenge. This is now set to change.
The systems all along had been ledger manual processed, and then we have challenges along the line. This includes the data collation is one, archiving the data is two, retrieving the data from the database is also a problem. So if the people should get loss of their certificates, they find it difficult to retrieve the certificates. And also those registered in the provinces, you cannot have their data at the central level.
The Ministry of Health, with support from the World Bank, in its strive to digitize the civil registration and vital statistics systems in the country, embarked on a mass birth registration and health insurance membership registration across the country from August 1st, 2022 to December 2022. It started in the West Coast region, to the North Bank West and the East, to the Lower River region, to the Central River region, and finally to the Upper River region.
National Health Insurance Scheme It's a scheme that is going to be rolled out by government to ensure that families, communities have access to health service at a cost that they can be able to afford. And then the insurance scheme also will also be there to ensure that people also are able to, to ensure that they don't incur cost on healthcare service delivery. For example, if they are to seek for services, the cost should be at a cost where they can be able to afford.
Congratulations to the Ministry of Health for embarking on a journey to make civil registration and vital statistics and health information system fully digital in the Gambia. An electronic ECRVS system has multiple benefits for individuals and the society as a whole. It is the foundation for e-government and would allow several sectors to provide public health essential public health services which are effective and efficient. The birth certificate with the national identification number assigned to it would facilitate enrollment into the National Health Insurance Scheme. Can you imagine the additional resources that would have been required if the government had decided to undertake a standalone registration into the National Health Insurance Scheme?
His Excellency Adama Barrow, President of the Republic of the Gambia, along with the first during the campaign, the following documents are required to obtain the new birth certificate, and the following categories of people need to register their birth. Persons born in the Gambia to one or both Gambian parents. Persons born in the Gambia to parents who are non-Gambians. Persons born in the Gambia to parents who are refugees resident in the Gambia. Persons born outside the Gambia to Gambian parents. People who want to register should bring the original copy of an authentic birth certificate to get a new electronic birth certificate with security features that are difficult to forge. No other documents are required if you have a birth certificate. If you do not have a birth certificate, you can bring one of the following documents: a valid national identity card, or an infant welfare card, or an antenatal card for a newborn, or a passport, or an alcalos attestation, endorsed by the Chief District Executive or Mayor. However, if you are under 50 years old, then you need to also bring along supporting documents from one or both biological parents, including a parent's birth certificate, or a parent's national identity card, or a parent's infant welfare card, or a parent's passport, or a parent's death certificate. If you are 50 years old or older and registering yourself, then you do not need to bring your parents' supporting documents. To obtain a national health insurance card, you need to be a Gambian. If you are not a Gambian citizen, but you are a legal resident in the Gambia, then please bring along your resident permit or any documentation indicating legal residence in the Gambia for at least 6 months. The procedures at the registration center are as follows. You must be physically present, that is, appear in person at the registration center. Underage 0 to 18 years are to be under the company of a caregiver. At the registration center, all are required to follow the queue except the elderly, pregnant and lactating mothers, the sick and differently abled. Hand over all required documents to the registration officials for processing and registration. A birth certificate and a national health insurance card will be issued after the completion of the process. The NHIS will cover many health services you may need, such as outpatient and inpatient services, dental health services, immunization, eye care services, maternity care, internal medicine, pediatrics, and emergencies.
When a person goes to a registration center, his or her biographic information, such as name, sex, date of birth, and so on, is recorded electronically, along with having his or her photograph taken. This information is checked immediately on site by a registrar, and the person receives a birth certificate printed on a security paper with a watermark of the Gambia coat of arms. The birth certificate has a national identification number and a QR code printed on it. These features will make it hard to forge. While at the registration center, he or she would also receive a national health insurance card which has the national identification number, QR code, and photo. Again, these features will be difficult to duplicate.
Before the mass registration exercise was initiated, public sensitization campaigns were conducted to generate demand by engaging community leaders through various television and radio programs, community engagements, press briefings, and regular updates of activities through social media via the Ministry of Health official Facebook page. Enquiries are also made available through a toll-free line 1025.
We should all take part, we should all participate. I think it's good for every individual. You should not be left over. You should be within, as far as I'm concerned. As we start, make sure you will be the first person and jump into the boat, because it's very important. If you miss this, you will struggle to maintain your health bills, and the government is doing everything to help everyone. So the entire population of the Gambia should know that this is very important and it's good for the country and good for the people of the country.
We should actually come out in big numbers and queue and patiently wait for us to be called to go and then get our enrollment cards done. This is an opportunity for you to get yourself out of spending, direct spending on healthcare.
This campaign is for women. We are the one who is bearing children, and we are the one who used to take our kids to the hospitals, and the healthcare system is our duty, because even our husband, we take care of them. So I'm urging all of them to come out with full force with their family, encourage their family. Anything what women lead, it's going to be successful. So everybody should come out and register on this thing, this certificate, so that you can be a holder of a certificate and also the change of your new birth certificate.
Don't be left out. Register for the electronic birth certificate now to become a member of the National Health Insurance Scheme.
While carrying out the mass registration, some lessons were learned and appropriate corrective actions were undertaken which contributed to the success of the registration. Long queues across centers and massive turnouts across a wide and diverse population has been the hallmark of the registration campaign. Some centers are so overwhelmed that they have to stretch beyond normal working hours to satisfy the population. Some people even arrived at the registration centers at dawn or slept there overnight. During the registration exercise, some communities raised concerns regarding the spelling of their communities in the electronic civil registration and vital statistics system and refused to register. The Gambia Bureau of Statistics provided the names of communities which were used in previous reports, but people had different spellings for the same communities. This was a huge controversy that would have derailed the exercise. The Ministry of Health reached out to the Ministry of Local Government and Lands, which engaged regional authorities and community leaders to update the list. Special arrangements were then made to go back to the communities, such as Sintet, to register people with updated community names. In any mass registration exercise, errors occurring in some birth certificates is inevitable. The Birth and Death Registry Unit worked closely with WCC, the software developer, to enable the system to make corrections. A detailed portal was set up to allow the public to use mobile phones, tablets and laptops to report errors on the birth certificates. Once a correction was made, the individual was called to go to the nearest registration center to pick up the corrected certificate. This was the first time that the Ministry of Health used electronic payments for such a large campaign. Having more than 1,500 registration officers signing paper timesheets made it difficult to collate and make payments. Eventually, an online attendance register was created to facilitate the processing of payments. Through mass media, the public was informed of the registration schedule well ahead of the arrival of the registration teams in their communities, which allowed communities to prepare for the arrival of the teams. Regular monitoring of the daily registration data revealed trends which informed implementation. For instance, when registration teams move from one location to another, the number of registrations decreased in the first few days at the new center and then picks up again. So team movement within regions was decreased. Online registration with issuance of a national identification number required regular internet access. This was initially a challenge given poor network coverage in some areas. The cellular network was mapped and Intersat was engaged to provide satellite connectivity in dead zones. WCC, the software developer, was regularly available even on weekends to troubleshoot any problems that arose. Supported by the World Bank, this important project is envisaged to change and improve healthcare services in the Gambia, thus advance the socio-economic lives of all residents of the Gambia.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, you've seen it for yourselves. I think all the videos that have been played gave everybody in the hall and those watching out there the enormous job that the Ministry of Health of the Gambia and its partner have been doing for the past few years and months. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it was not an easy task to put all those together. So please give all the staffs of the Ministry of Health who were directly involved in the compilation of those videos. Now, it's now time for us to have presentations. And at this point, I would wish to invite Professor Yankuba Kasama, who is doing a presentation on the postgraduate medical training program. So Mr. Kasama, Professor Kasama, you are welcome on stage.
Okay.
So he will be making presentations and you will be watching it directly on the two giant screens and the screens right in front of the VVIP. Thank you very much. Professor The stage is yours. Thank you.
Yes. Your Excellency, the President, ably represented by the Honorable Finance Minister, His Excellency, the Honorable Minister of Health, other executive members present, the World Bank country representative, the UNDP rep, the American ambassador, members of parliament, and our honorable postgraduate trainers here present, ladies and gentlemen, all protocols respectfully observed. Well, we are supposed to do a presentation of the postgraduate medical training program. Now, this picture you are seeing is a picture of residents and their trainers in the Department of Family Medicine. This department never existed in the Gambia before. This is the first time. What happened in the hospital was the polyclinic that everybody knows in Banjul was converted into this department with resident doctors being trained there by trainers. We all know that the medical school was created in 1999, and the medical school under the University of the Gambia. We are very happy. The Minister of Higher Education is around here. He produced more than 300 medical doctors since 1999. But these doctors, definitely when they graduated, actually, they had no career pattern. It was full stop. They didn't know what to do. Because under normal circumstances, anywhere in the world, when doctors graduate, they should specialize. They should all specialize in their respective departments so that they can serve the population properly at the highest standard. Since that happened, only probably one specialized in ophthalmology and two in OBGY, and of course, the ones who specialize in this now, they are heading our ophthalmology unit and the department of BGY. And of course, a dozen doctors or so went abroad. The government sent them to Ghana, Nigeria, and so forth to try to specialize. But they went up to midway, to membership level, and they all came back because that is very, very, very expensive for government. So that is why it is very important this program develops in this country, this program which is sponsored by the World Bank, thank God, very long overdue. And this program started because there were certain conceptualization meetings before. We all remember when the West African College of Surgeons had their meeting in Banjul in 2018. That time, the physicians of West Africa were also there. They talked about how Gambia can start its own postgraduate medical training as it happens anywhere else in the world. And of course, there was also a meeting the following year in Dakar, the West African College of Surgeons meeting, and all the Gambian surgeons met. The Honorable Minister himself was there then. That time he was the Chief Medical Director of our only teaching hospital. And we all thought that definitely it's high time we start our own postgraduate medical training program to actually give more opportunities to our doctors that we already have on the ground. It started, and of course, the surgical department got accredited, and the OBGY, the surgeons started before the physicians. And in 2020, we thank God that the World Bank came to the rescue through the assistance of the Honorable Minister so that this program could start in earnest. Well, it has started now, and we have at the moment on the ground about 18 postgraduate consultants, expatriates who are in country training these young Gambian doctors to specialize at home in the Gambia with us. This is a picture. This is a picture of some of these consultants when they paid a courtesy call on our chief medical director in the EFSTH teaching hospital with the deputy chief medical director and the chairman of the hospital management board. So these are the list of these consultants who are here with us today in this hall. You can see that we have one for pathology, which doesn't exist in this country. We have 3 for family medicine, and we have 2 for dental surgery, facial maxillary surgery, and we have about 5 for internal medicine and family medicine, and many other departments. So there are 18 in number. These consultants are training the young doctors, but these young doctors must pass. These young doctors are medical officers already, working across the length and breadth of the Gambia. They must pass their primary examinations, and these examinations are usually set up by the West African College of Surgeons or the West African College of Physicians. And you can see that at the moment we have about 49 of them that pass their primary exams, and they are all appointed as registrars in the hospital, in the EFSTH hospital, and they are being trained by these consultants. Now, when they are registrars for about 3 years or so, they sit another examination called membership examinations. When they pass that, they would be promoted to senior registrars, and we have about 18 of them being trained in the hospital. So the total number of trainees we have, of course, to have this, it means colossal work went into this program, definitely. It's about 67. So 67 young Gambian doctors are being trained in the EFSTH to specialize in various specialties to serve the Gambian people. This is what is happening. Since it started, all through the help of World Bank, we scored a lot of successes, definitely. For this program to start, you must get accreditation for the departments that they are being trained. That means, accreditation means the training they are undergoing would be recognized and would be approved by one of those colleges, the West African College of Surgeons or Physicians. And I must say that in the EFT department now, we have about 8 departments that are accredited for such training. The pediatric department is one of them. It is fully accredited. Well, if we say accreditation, it means a lot. It means you have to get the trainers in place, you have to get the trainees in place, you have to have the infrastructure, you have to get all the equipment in place. So it is a very expensive business, definitely. And the Department of Orthopedics and Trauma is also accredited, and doctors are being trained in this department. Department of Obstetrics and Gynecology, and of course, the Department of General Surgery, Internal Medicine is accredited, and even we got this accreditation with collaboration as a joint venture with the Medical Research Council. So, anesthesia department is accredited, family medicine department is accredited, And of course, another success story we achieved was to establish a computer-based examination center, which never existed before. Before, what was happening, these residents were taking their exams, they were invigilated on paper, and those papers are flown to the colleges in Nigeria or Ghana, they were marked, and then the results came. But nowadays, we do all this through the computer in a center which is established in the EFSTH hospital. Now, this center is being used for both the West African College of Surgeons and the West African College of Physicians. Well, we also have observed that the program motivated a lot of young Gambians who graduate from the university, study hard, work hard, and they pass their primaries. Definitely, a lot of them are coming on board. So it means we cannot now imagine how life would have been without this program. Well, the World Bank is also going to sponsor us to build to create a new neonatology intensive care unit, which would be built on top of the maternity hospital in the maternity unit department in the EFSTH. This is very important for accreditation purposes because currently what is happening if newborns, well, are born, they cross the road to go to the pediatric side, and that is not good enough. So we really want to thank the World Bank for that. Now, also we've been sponsored to have many type of courses like training of trainers, especially for courses that are mandatory for some of these residents, like the basic surgical skills courses, definitely, is mandatory. And on the left side is a picture where the Honorable Minister came to open this workshop for us when the trainers flew in from various parts of the sub-region to train our consultants. And in the middle is a picture of those trainers that came from the West African College of Surgeons. And of course, on the right are our local consultants that are already trained, and it means they are certified basic surgical skill local trainers. That means they could also train the residents, and that training would be recognized and would be counted towards their examinations in the West African College of Surgeons. Well, these are pictures of accreditation visits. As I mentioned before, we've got 8 departments accredited in the EFSTH, and Department of Family Medicine. The accreditation team usually consists of faculty members of those departments, and usually they are led by the faculty chairs of those of the respective departments of the West African College of Physicians or the West African College of Surgeons. And likewise, anesthesia, internal medicine, pediatric, orthopedic, and of course, within 2 years, definitely, our boys and girls have been doing so well that we scored 50% success rate in 2021, which improved to 98% in 2022. And these are example graduation pictures of some of them. Once they pass these membership exams, immediately they are promoted as senior registrars. They are specialists already. Once they pass this exam, they are junior specialists in those areas. The picture on the left is graduation of our Ka and Ablaiba, who are now doing their second phase of their specialization. Now, we must say that we've also got some senior registrars that became fellows. Fellowship is the ultimate qualification in our profession in clinical services, definitely. We have Dr. Jan, who is a fellow of the West African College of Physicians, and Dr. Jaite, who is also a fellow of the West African College of Physicians. These two, they are the only ones we have in the country. Dr. Jaite as a cardiologist in the only cardiologist in the EFSTH hospital to serve the nation. And Dr. Jammeh, the only Gambian nephrologist. Fellowship means you've accomplished that. Well, these are the newly graduates, the new graduates who just newly graduated. They got their memberships. You can see them. They worked very hard. They had to work very hard to reach this level. You can see Dr. Sow, Dr. Dado, Dr. Kasama, Dr. Kamara, and all these people will serve our nation in the highest standard ever. So this is what is happening now. Well, these are group photo of all the graduates recently who graduated as members, specialists in their respective areas. And of course, this is a picture of the executives of the executive members of the West African College of Surgeons. Now, you would know that the World Bank supported us. As we are doing this, you can imagine, I am always talking about the West African College of Surgeons or the West African College of Physicians. But as every other country does, it would be high time in the Gambia, we develop or we create our own College of Physicians and Surgeons. That's what every country does. And we are also doing that. Well, in July 2022, of course, after the Ministry of Health set up a standing committee, that committee worked so hard. We met 10 times over until in July, we got our document, our draft bill validated. And this was the inaugural workshop, which was opened by the Honorable Minister of Health. And of course, before we got this document validated, we really underwent extensive consultations, both internally and externally. And even during the validation workshop, we invited external colleges to really come and help us. So this document is already validated, and it is in the Ministry of Health now. I think it should be coming. The minister would take it to cabinet for cabinet approval, and it would be taken to Parliament. And we hope when we get Parliament approval, then we would get the bill of the College of Physicians and Surgeons of the Gambia. So that is very important, so that definitely we could sustain all what we are doing now. We had to go for a study tour to other countries, like we understudied the College of Physicians and Surgeons of Ghana and the College of Physicians and Surgeons of Liberia, and that helped us to really validate this document. And we are hoping the minister would fast-track this cabinet approval for us, so that our able partners, World Bank, could continue to support us to achieve our goals up to the latter. Thank you very much, and we look forward to support from other development partners. Yeah, good. Okay.
Professor? Good. Professor Kasama, for that brilliant presentation. Please give him a round of applause, please. It is said that seeing is believing. And that is why, at this stage, I wish to call on the beneficiaries of the postgraduate training program to come forward. Then we'll also have a beneficiary to make a testimony. Can we have the beneficiaries of the postgraduate training program? While they walk out, please give them a round of applause, please. Can we have the one doing the testimony to be on the podium here? Yeah. So they can remain while you speak. Yes, sure.
Your Excellency.
Hello.
I speak through this one.
Yeah. You may take your seats. Thank you.
Your Excellency, President Barrow, ably represented by Honorable Siti Keita, Minister of Finance and Economic Affairs, the Honorable Minister of Health, members of Cabinet, the World Bank team, dignitaries present here, ladies and gentlemen. It is indeed a great pleasure to stand before you here as a resident training at home, thanks to the foresight of the Honorable Minister of Health, the Gambia government, and the World Bank support. The establishment of the postgraduate medical training at home has been a turning point in the development of the Gambia's healthcare system. The postgraduate medical training program allows residents the privilege to continue to live at home while providing clinical services and at the same time undergoing training. Hence, I have my lovely wife present in this hall today. This would have not been possible if I were in Dakar or in Dakar, Senegal, or Abuja, or Accra, or anywhere else in the world training. We appeal to Your Excellency, President Barrow, for the purpose of sustainability of the postgraduate training program, for your government to consider committing additional support financially with the aim of incentivizing our very own Gambian consultants to help retain them and even attract more Gambians from the diaspora to come back home and take ownership of the postgraduate medical training. Certainly, the World Bank support program shall one day phase out, and we must, as a country, ensure that the postgraduate medical training remains alive, and not just alive, but robust and flourishing. The postgraduate training program is indeed His Excellency's legacy. We continue to thank the World Bank for supporting the postgraduate training program. In conclusion, Your Excellency, we can assure you that all of us standing here are committed and resolute to stay at home and serve our nation. Thank you.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I would want you once again to please give them a big round of applause once more while they are ushered for a photo shoot outside. I think I have hosted a lot of important programs and, of course, quite significant for this country. But I must acknowledge that I am touched by this very one, for the very fact that these are the heroes of this country who have not been celebrated in the past, and they have not been known. And I think it's very important that today we feel the enormous contribution they are doing towards the health sector of this country and say a big thank you. But of course, to know them, because they are always in the hospitals and we don't usually see their faces. So distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, let's also give them a round of applause again. Now, there was a slight skip in the presentations
Immediately after the presentation of the video documentary on the Gambia Bird and Health Insurance Registration, which actually Mr. Fati did justly, we needed to have a presentation added by the WCC group. So that is why at this point, I would wish to draw attention to the program guide and invite the WCC group to make a brief presentation on the ECRVS dashboard, that is the Electronic Civil Registration and Vital Statistics. Please give him a round of applause. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes. Thank you for this introduction. My name is Roelof Troost. I work for WCC Group. I'm not an expert at this protocol, but thank you for having me here, everybody. I'm going to give a very short presentation of the dashboard that the ECRVS system currently has and the information it can give the Ministry of Health and the people of the Gambia. It's actually a very advanced system, so we are very proud to have been a part of that. And I think the Gambia can be very proud of having such an advanced registration system. What you see on the screens is the total number of registrations of people of the Gambia, so over 1 million. The number in the top right is a number that varies when you look at different time zones, time spans. I will explain that later. If you scroll down on the screen, which I hope works, yes, you can see different graphs, which I'm not going to go into too much detail, but they give you a lot of information on the registrations per day, registrations per region, per LGA, per settlement. You also see the number of active registration officers that are actively using the system, and you see the number of registrations performed by these registration officers, and you see the number of registrations performed per settlement, per district, per region, and you can understand that this is all very, very valuable information to use when you make decisions in health-related matters. These graphs are also very nice, so it shows the percentage males versus females on the bottom left, and on the right you see a distributed age group graph. So let me skip to the next tab. So this tab shows at the top, this is for one specific week during the mass registration campaign last year, and you see that in this week there were about 40,000 registrations performed, and well, you see the number of registrations per day. Ultimately, the system will also register deaths. Right now, we are only registering births and really the late registrations of people. But if you would then also have the deaths, it would show in the graph currently in the top left. This basically is it. I think it's this dashboard gives you a lot of flexibility and a lot of power to measure the data that you have and to make decisions based on that and make the smart and the right decisions for the future of the Gambia. So thank you for giving me this time to present. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That's the representative of the WCC group, showing us those important figures as far as the electronic civil registration and vital statistics is concerned. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, and members of the high table, for many years, like I said, the Health Ministry and its partner have achieved a lot, as evident in the presentation by Professor Yankuba Kasama. And we've seen our own people, Gambians, taking the lead and taking center stage as far as the health sector is concerned. Before, it wasn't the same. But now, things have drastically changed under the leadership of the Honorable Minister and, of course, the dynamic leadership of His Excellency, the President of the Republic of the Gambia, who is not here, but I'm sure his heart is also here. So let's also give him a round of applause in absentia, please. But importantly, he has been represented quite well by the Honorable Minister of Finance, who is here, who is, I believe, a close friend of the ministry too. Please give him a round of applause too. At this stage, I am so excited to invite another lady on the podium, this time to make a presentation on the postgraduate. Round of applause to Dr. Jennifer C. Sauer.
Mr. Chair, kindly allow me to stand on the existing protocols that were established earlier by previous speakers. My name is Dr. Jennifer C. Sauer. I am a nurse, a senior lecturer, and head of Department Nursing and Reproductive Health. Let me begin by appreciating the Ministry of Health through the Health Minister, Dr. Ahmadou Lamine Samate, and then the World Bank rep, Dr. Samuel Mills, for giving us the opportunity to train professionals, midwives, nurse anesthetists, pediatric and perioperative nurses, which is timely and highly needed by the country. We are indeed grateful. This training or capacity building will significantly improve maternal and child health indicators in the country, no doubt about that. And then will also bridge the needed gaps when it comes to human resources for health at the Ministry of Health. Having said that, it's not me, but okay, thank you. Okay. The Department of Nursing and Reproductive Health under the School of Medicine and Allied Health Sciences, University of the Gambia, was established in 1999. The following year, it started training bachelors of science in general nursing for in-service nurses. And then in 2011, the BSc in perioperative, the BSc pre-service was started. And then the MSc in community health was commenced in 2009. The department have graduated over 800 nurses, both undergraduate and also at the postgraduate level. These nurses are found throughout the country, in all settings, both private and public, occupying senior and middle-level positions, and thus contributing significantly towards the socio-economic development of this country. In 2020, the World Bank, with the support of the Ministry of Health, initiated and also supported the establishment of specialty programs. For the first time in the history of the School of Medicine and also at the University of the Gambia, that we are having specialty training, because we've been training general nurses all along for almost 2 decades. Then there was a need to move to the next level, which is the specialty program. And thus the establishment of the Bachelor of Science in Nurse Anesthesia program with the Department of Ministry of Health. There, 16 students were enrolled. of course, using a very rigorous selection process together with that of the department. And then 10 students were self-sponsored. You also have the BSc in midwifery program that was also commenced in 2021. There we also have 32 students that were sponsored by the project by paying their tuition fees, and then 10 are self-sponsored. The students are currently in their final year, first semester, and the pass rate has been quite impressive. The first cohort is expected to complete in 2023, this December. Then later, the following year, we moved to the postgraduate diploma. And the reason is that we wanted to have a more clinically focused program with a shorter duration. So therefore, we moved from the BSc to the postgraduate diploma. And there we also have 10 students in nurse anesthesia program, 18 midwives or midwifery students, 6 pediatric nursing students, and then 2 perioperative. The first cohort is expected to complete in July 2023, and then the recruitment for the second cohort is currently in progress. These are some of the midwifery students that are currently in the program. Then you also have some of the pediatric students with the program coordinators, and also some of the lecturers who's in there. There you also have the nurse anesthetic students in clinical practice, with some of the clinical supervisors. Then you also have some of the staffs under the Department of Nursing who are very dedicated, very passionate about the program, and they are helping to move the nursing department to higher levels. Then you also have the program coordinators. Each of these programs has a coordinator. And the midwifery program is being coordinated by my colleague, Mrs. Rachel Mende, the nurse anesthesia program by my humble self, the pediatric nursing by Dr. Hadi Tunkaraba, and the perioperative by Dr. Thomas Sengor. Similarly, the project is also helping us to implement the program with the support of all the lecturers that were recruited from the diaspora. And one of them is Mr. James Ajusieni Bagbe from Ghana, and also Mr. Lamin Swaret, that is being paid by the ministry. Then another important milestone within the department, which is the establishment of the simulation lab for the first time in the School of Medicine and Allied Health Sciences, and then the UTG in general. The project procured equipment and supplies, thus enhancing teaching and learning, which is very key, because you cannot teach most of these skills without a lab. You must have a lab. And then definitely we are very much appreciative of the project for having, for the first time, a clinical simulation laboratory at the School of Medicine and Other Health Sciences. And these are some of the pictures, as you can see, the students in the lab doing their clinical practicum. Then here also we have some other dummies. These are just samples of the materials and equipment that were bought by the project. Then we are also supported by office equipment to facilitate teaching and learning still within the department. And then we receive 8 laptops, 4 projectors, 2 desktops, 2 scanners, a photocopier, and a printer. So on behalf of the University of the Gambia and my humble behalf, I wish to thank the World Bank for coming to our support to make sure that specialty nurses are trained within the university. And this is definitely a great achievement and a milestone, not only to the Ministry of Health, but also to the University of the Gambia. And then we are also looking forward to having more partners to implement more and more programs. On that note, I wish to thank you all for your kind attention. Thank you. Okay. I also want to seize this opportunity to introduce one of the beneficiaries of the program, okay, or all of them. That's the pediatric students. Because when you now look at in the country, our pediatric indicators are very poor. We do not have nurse specialists in pediatric nursing. So therefore, there is a need to train nurse specialists in pediatric nursing to take care of our under 5s. The infant mortality is high. The neonatal mortality is high. So we believe with the capacity building of these specialty programs, it will help to improve our indicators, and then our expectations are high, and then we are looking forward to winning the fight in the very shortest possible time. The same thing also applies to midwifery, nurse anesthesia, and also perioperative nursing. So on that note, I will want to allow one of the beneficiaries to speak on behalf of their class. Thank you so much.
Honorable Minister of Health, Honorable Minister of Economics and Finance, representing the President of the Borough, Honorable Minister of Health, dignitaries from the World Bank and Minister of Health, diplomats of the International Corps, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, and my fellow students, good morning. My name is Landin Jaite, a BSc Anesthesia student at the University of the Gambia, under the sponsorship of the World Bank. As one of the beneficiaries, I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude and appreciation to the World Bank for granting us the opportunity to pursue our dreams in the areas of midwifery, anesthesia, pediatrics, and perioperative by paying our full tuition fees, providing teaching and learning materials, a simulation lab, among others. I would also like to thank the Ministry of Health for initiating and facilitating the smooth running of this program. Honorable Minister, this project has come at a time when we, the nurses, are in dead need of advancing our professional careers. Because for the past years, we've been praying, waiting, and hoping for the commencement of this kind of nurse specialty program in the Gambia, at the University of the Gambia in particular. In the same vein, the country's health sector is in demand of more nurse experts in the areas of midwifery, anesthesia, perioperative, and pediatrics. Fortunately, this incredible project has provided a solution to this challenge. As I'm speaking, 84 students, including PGD and BSc, are currently benefiting from this project. And for the first time in the history of the Gambia, we have home-trained pediatric nurses who are currently on internship. We might be seen as individual beneficiaries of this program, but in general, it is the country that is benefiting. Honorable Minister, upon completion of our program, we will be able to fill the missing pieces in our healthcare delivery system. Having more nurses in these specialty areas is directly proportional to an effective and efficient healthcare delivery system in the Gambia. While emphasizing the importance and the need of more nurse experts, I would like to seize this opportunity to appeal to the World Bank to continue and expand these sponsored programs at the University of the Gambia. On behalf of my fellow students and my humble self, once again, I sincerely thank the World Bank and the Ministry of Health from the apex of my heart. Thank you for your kind attention.
Thank you very much. That was quite a good remark and, of course, presentation by Dr. Jammeh C. Sao. Squarely, as we did for the postgraduate training program, I would wish all of us to stand and also equally give a round of applause to Dr. Jammeh C. and her team, please. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. We now go to a short interlude by the Gambia Police Band. I call this one a Ramadan interlude. Gambia Police Band, please. Thank you. Thank you very much, the Gambia Police Band. It's now time for a presentation on the ongoing construction and equipment at Farato, West Coast region, of the National Emergency Treatment Center, Intensive Care Unit, Emergency Observation Room and Treatment Center, the National Public Health Laboratory and Training Center, the National Blood Transfusion Center, Conference Center and Diagnostic Imaging Center by Mr. Sirtaj Singh Bedi, Country Head, Sapor Polonji, Mid-East. Please give him a round of applause, please.
His Excellency, the Honorable President of the Republic of the Gambia, Mr. Adama Barrow, represented by Honorable Minister of Finance, Honorable C.D. Keita, Honorable Minister of Health, Dr. Samate, and other present minister, member of the government officials, members of the diplomatic community, members of PCU, delegates of the World Bank, representative of the consultant, distinguished guests, my colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, all protocols duly observed. It is indeed a delight and great honor to stand before this august gathering as a representative of the contractor Shapoorji Pallonji, executing its first of its kind healthcare project in the Gambia, and address you all on this momentous occasion to present the updates on the construction of the National Emergency Treatment Center project financed by the World Bank. Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, Shapoorji Pallonji is a globally renowned leader and pace-setter in the construction industry, undertaking projects on design and build, EPC and turnkey basis, ranging from hospitals, universities, recreational facilities, hotels, IT parks, conference centers, high-rise building, roads, bridges, railways, airports, seaports, etc., and many more with a legacy and reputation of over 158 years. Our expertise and experience in the domain of infrastructure is a second to none, and our presence is well established throughout the West Africa, notably in the Republic of the Gambia, Ghana, Sierra Leone, Liberia, Ivory Coast, Niger, Gabon, Nigeria, and so on. Shapoorji Pallonji Group is a technology, engineering, construction services conglomerate headquartered in India with global operations making a turnover of over $7 billion a year. Shapoorji Pallonji has been able to replicate the success story in West Africa itself and has already executed projects across the continent. Sapurji Palanji entered Africa in 2006 to serve the West African region and explore the market in other parts of the Africa. As end-to-end construction solution, SP today has a strong presence in Africa, having completed landmark projects such as Lekki Hospital in Nigeria, Mercure Oncology Center in Nigeria, Douera Maternity Hospital in Algeria, General Hospital N Defla in Algeria, construction of Dangote Cement Plant in Nigeria, Seaport Extension in Liberia, EPC contract for mining infrastructure works in Guinea-Conakry, International Conference Center in Niamey, Niger, the seat of government and presidency, Jubilee House in Ghana, which has also been named amongst the 10 beautiful presidential palaces in the world, National Assembly Building Complex in the Gambia, Ibn Cyber Towers in Mauritius, which has won the award for Most Intelligent Building of the Year. We are presently working on the UTG Faraba Banta project, railway project in Ghana, construction of district hospitals in Ghana, water supply and irrigation project in Cameroon, rehabilitation of health centers along with supply of medical equipment, and these health centers spread across the length and breadth of Ivory Coast. I'd like to brief you on the ETC project now. The ETC project was awarded to Sapurji Palanji in December 2021, and the construction work started in February 2022. The architectural and structural design is provided by Spanish lead architect IDEM, and we have worked in tandem with team of GAP consultants who have been proactively involved in the supervision of this priority project. This noble healthcare project is housing facilities including 20 ICU bed intensive care unit, 84 bed observation ward, public health laboratory and training center, mortuary, conference center with a capacity to host 94 people, utility building, housing services and equipment required for effective functioning of the facilities, auxiliary civil works including access road, fencing, waste and storm management, hard and soft landscaping, the drawing of blood transfusion center designed by local architects GAP, recently added to the project, making this full-fledged hospital a potential one-stop solution provider for all testing and treatment requirement. The built-up area of the constructed area is in tune to approximately 12,000 square meter. Like any other project, this project too got inflicted with few challenges. However, with the support and assistance of GAP, IDEM and PCU, we managed to eke out the progress overcoming these critical challenges. As of today, the core and shell of the building, like ICU wards, OBS, laboratory, conference, mortuary, general services, etc. have been completed, and block work, internal plaster, MEP first weeks items have so far progressed as planned, except for the utility buildings, NBTC, and the recently added NDIC. External works are simultaneously progressing, and the road works are planned to be completed before the onset of the monsoon. Procurement of fittings and finishing like doors, windows, tiles, paints have commenced in line with the schedule and specification. The procurement of long lead items, including mechanical and electrical engineering system, heating and ventilation, and air conditioning system, supply and distribution of medical gases, etc. have also commenced after due deliberation, discussion, and getting approvals from the consultant. Ladies and gentlemen, as promised earlier, my company is engaged in empowering Gambian youth by employing local skilled people such as masons, carpenters, welders, drivers, mechanics, electricians, plumbers, administrative staff, technicians throughout the phases of the project as planned. A phased technology transfer to Gambian maintenance team has been scheduled with the assistance of the Ministry of Health to make them competent and self-sufficient for undertaking the periodical maintenance and repair works. We continue to leverage our culture of innovation, our deep engineering expertise, and health, safety, and environment process to help make everyday life better. We are constantly being supervised and inspected by the SDF team, and we have received clearances of safe working conditions from them. A big thank you goes out to the World Bank team, PCU, and GAP, who have been assisting us in achieving these targets. We hope to work together with the government of the Gambia for its upcoming health-related opportunities in the Gambia, along with mega construction projects, which shall place Gambia on top of as one of the leading and fastest growing country in the West Africa. We are thankful for having been offered this opportunity, and we assure you to deliver you to the satisfaction of all the stakeholders. We feel privileged to be a part of the development of this country. With this assurance, we at Shaparji Palanji endeavor to provide all possible assistance and support for the development of the Gambia and its people. We thank you for your attention. Ramadan Kareem to you all, and the season of Lent. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Sapor Polonji. Please give him one more round of applause, please. Now, I wish to also invite, of course, someone very familiar in the health sector, Dr. Mustafa Bitey, who is going to speak on the government response to the epidemic of acute kidney injuries in the Gambia, the proposed design and construction of a new National Food and Drug Quality Control Laboratory at Brusubi and a new biomedical engineering unit at Farato. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Dr. Mustafa Bitey on stage, please. Let's give him a round of applause.
Thank you very much. This is a big honor for us, and all right, thank you very much, and we are really touched by what is happening. Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of the Gambia, represented ably here by the Minister of Finance and Economic Affairs, Mr. C.D. Keita. He's been very supportive. The mastermind behind all this, that's the Honorable Minister of Health, Dr. Ahmadullah bin Samate. We want to say that the Honorable Minister of Communication and Digital Economy, I think, must be impressed and might use Minister of Health as a launch pad towards digitization of this country. So I want to pause a moment and really thank the Professor Per Gomez. Most of the things you are seeing here, and some not mentioned, it was in his leadership at the university. The nursing program, the pharmacy program, he was very supportive, the laboratory, and so we thank you very much for the support you've given, and we hope you can tell the current Vice Chancellor to continue in that line. Her Excellency, the Ambassador of the United States of America, and especially her predecessor, he was very supportive with us, and we thank you very much for coming. And all the members of the diplomatic corps present here, Madam Faye Boniface, World Bank representative, and the tax team leader, our friend, Dr. Sam Lanty Mills, and all World Bank staff here, we thank you. The UN representative, the UN resident representative, and our friend Aisha Tade, we really appreciate you here, and all UN representatives present here. The Permanent Secretary, Minister of Health, and all directors and staff of the Ministry of Health, and all the CEOs and regional directors and all staff. The PSs and other ministries and their staff present. I have to give also, as a young doctor, I must recognize my teachers here, Professor Nyan, Professor Sala, and Professor Kasama. Members of the press, distinguished ladies and gentlemen present here, and those watching at home, good afternoon and Ramadan Mubarak. I also want to use this opportunity to congratulate those who recently graduated as our specialist, and also Professor Gassama for being the second vice president of the West African College of Surgeons. This is the first time it's happening in the history of the Gambia. So congratulations for taking the heights. Our efforts very high in the sub-region. I'm just to talk about what we've been doing in the Gambia. And it's important to note that in the Gambia, we did not have food and quality control laboratory ever. And the World Bank is now supporting the design of this. It's also supporting the design of a new biomedical engineering unit. You see, when you think, like Professor Dr. Samate, you think sustainability. And there's no point having all these facilities, having all this equipment, and there's no process of continuity. So we need to inbuild that in the process so that we have a biomedical engineering unit which can maintain all our equipment prophylactically, not to wait like disaster or emergency management, but prophylactically and preventive medicine. So we are also going to have a new Ministry of Health complex and a National Health Insurance Office so that it increases the productivity and efficacy the way we run our system in the ministry. As of now, we are disjointed in different areas. Logistically, it's very expensive and it's not effective. So first, this is just a graph, not to bore you much, but to show you that what we've done with the acute kidney injury outbreak that happened. So you had a drug that was introduced in this country in early June. And by July, the drug has already started going. And then the staff we have that have been introduced by Professor Kasama and their residents were able to see, even in the midst of a declining death rate. This is very important. Normally, you just see a jump in the death rates, then you say, oh, there's a problem. But if you have very qualified people, even though that the mortality rate was going down, but in general, but they've seen that there's an abnormal pattern in the morbidity that we are having with kidney disease. So they were able to pick it. So that's very difficult, really, and we really give them kudos for that. And the ministry acted very fast. So it was recognized, and by the 26th of July, already the ministry was informed, and then we started looking at the possibilities, whether this was what was causing it, and started doing our work quickly. And you can see that by September, we've already recalled, not only called off, but already recalled through the help of the World Bank and other partners also. We've recalled all the drugs, and you can see that since that time, we did not have any other case. This was a very quick action by the Ministry of Health. So I've explained that to establish this link, we had to use the people that we have. And these are the residents now we have in hospitals being trained by very qualified people that we have to get from outside. It's not easy for the government to get them. World Bank is supporting, because these are top-level people in their countries, and they wouldn't live like that, leave their families, and also to displace them. But we are training so that after they've left, the project is end, we would be able to sustain it. But through these eyes, for the first time in the history of the Gambia, we are picking this, and because of the support we are getting from the World Bank. So we are also happy with the passion and interest of these residents and how they are performing in helping us with this. But it was not only the residents. It is also, you have a big response group, because the day we know about it, that's the same day the EDC unit went to the facility. That's the same day they went to Brikama. That's the same day we started putting the GS on, and they activated everything and work started. So we have a very good public health service unit in this country that is diverse and is all over the country, and they really acted very fast, and we thank them for that. We also thank the EDC for this and all those who participated. So we are all aware that now, looking at what we've just witnessed, pediatric nursing for the first time, pediatricians, all these doctors, we know that really child health is now going to be very improved in the quality that they give to Gambians. So we are also happy to say, although it's not but other countries, after seeing what Gambia has done, were able to save their people. And because of what Gambia has done, WHO was able to alert other countries, and more lives were saved in a rapid way. So, but when this happened, in the midst of every problem, usually you can be able to solve it. The president, in his speech, requested and tasked the Minister of Health to ensure that we develop and establish a food and drug quality control laboratory. The World Bank was very quick to assist in this, and I'm happy to tell you that we are not in the talking phase about drawing board. No, we've passed that level. So with the World Bank, with emergencies, they are very fast. It's not so much bureaucracy. And when it's emergency, they act and they understand what emergency is. So now we've already gotten an LTS health for the concept design. That's already done. EDOM is actually now, we've already gotten an architectural firm. They are now drawing. And Merovic Consulting is already working on the equipment with our biomedical unit here. So work is already going, and very soon we should be achieving this goal. So this is just so far the drawings we are getting from EDOM, the ones drawing the food and quality laboratory. This is how it will look like when we are done. So they are starting the drawings, and the equipments are being procured. So like I said earlier, if you have all this and you don't do anything, you don't have a biomedical engineer unit and system, next 2 years you will find a junk, and you'll be thinking of how to throw this away. And that's not what we want. So because of that, we're establishing and equipping a biomedical engineering unit at the Farato site. So this is, we're also going to build at the Bursubi, where the food and drug laboratory unit will be. We are also going to have an office complex and also a building for the National Health Insurance. So the status, the concept designs have been completed. Architectural drawings are ongoing. We are going back and forth with EDOM on that, and the construction and equipment will follow. Right now, we are looking at the farms that are doing evaluation, and very soon the contracts will be awarded. But however, this is where I will look at my UNDP friend. He's been very helpful and very responsive. But however, the construction of the office complex will be financed from different resources. So we will be looking for other partners to come and support the World Bank in ensuring that we receive this and have this in time. So we want to thank the World Bank and all those who participated to ensure that we reach this stage. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Dr. Mustafa Bitey, Director of Health Services, for that, of course, brilliant intervention. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I think without doubt, it is now clear as in broad daylight the great work that the ministry has been doing. I call it behind the scenes. And I always say this, that those who should blow their trumpets don't blow their trumpets, because they work behind the scenes. Please give the Ministry of Health and partner World Bank a big round of applause for greatly doing a great job behind the scenes, but of course, taking a moment today to engage stakeholders and Gambians and keep them abreast of some of these development activities happening in this country called the Gambia. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, as part of the World Bank support to the health sector, preparatory work has also been done to improve existing health structures and plans in place to construct new health facilities. Presently, designs have completed and selection of contractors underway for renovation and equipment of dilapidated asbestos-containing health facilities in various health facilities across the length and breadth of the country, such as Bansang General Hospital Staff Quarters, Bansang Regional Health Directorate Office and Staff Quarters, Bansang School for enrolled nurses and midwives, the Basse District Hospital, Brikama District Hospital, Biam General Hospital Old Health Center, the Farafenye Old Health Center, Kaur Health Center, Kiang Karantaba Health Center, Kudang Health Center and Staff Quarters, Mansakonko Staff Quarters, North Bank East Regional Health Directorate Office and Staff Quarters, and Yorobawal Staff Quarters. Furthermore, designs have been completed and selection of contractors underway for the renovation and equipment of Brikamaba Health Center and a new operating room for cesarean delivery. Buyam General Hospital and the Neonatal Intensive Care Unit new construction at the Edward Francis Small Teaching Hospital. The CEO is around. Please give yourselves a round of applause too for your hospital. Designs are also underway for the construction of new major hospitals, Brikama Hospital and Basse Hospital, respectively. It's important to also note a contractor has been selected to renovate X-ray rooms in 5 hospitals, namely Bansang Hospital, Buyam General Hospital, Edward Francis Small Teaching Hospital, that is the ECRVS TH, Farafenye Hospital, and Kanifing Hospital. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, this development is indeed unprecedented in the Gambia. Massive revamp of the health sector, infrastructure, and construction of new facilities positions the Gambia now on the right footing in achieving universal health coverage. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, this is a laudable achievement. Let's give them one more round of applause, please. At this point, I would want to call on Mr. Abdullahi Mamjai, who is the project coordinator at the Project Coordination Unit of the Ministry of Health, to come forward and briefly introduce a video on COVID-19 emergency response. Please give Mr. Njai a big round of applause, please.
Thank you, Mr. Master of Ceremony. Members of the high table, please allow me, like Dr. Jainaba, to piggyback on the established protocols. But I must, before doing so, recognize, of course, Honorable C.D. Keita, who's representing His Excellency the President, as well as the Honorable Minister of Health and other cabinet ministers here present, and the other excellencies in the room. Now, it will be recalled that on March 17, 2020, the Gambia registered its first COVID-19 case. As expected, this sent the country into panic mode, given the fact that the virus is highly contagious, and at the time, little was known about it. Following this, the government of the Gambia immediately established a broad-based National Health Committee to coordinate her efforts in tackling the epidemic, and at the same time began an aggressive resource mobilization drive to solicit support from development partners. On April 2nd, 2020, the World Bank approved a $10 million grant, being the first support that the country received for COVID-19 related financial support. This grant was meant to help prevent, detect, and respond to the threat posed by COVID-19 and to strengthen the national system for public health preparedness. The documentary video on the Gambia's COVID-19 emergency response that you are about to watch, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, will provide an insight and manifest government and the World Bank's efforts to tackle the COVID-19 epidemic. I have the honor to invite you to sit back, relax, and watch the said documentary video. Thank you.
Accordingly, all heads of government institutions, parastatals, private enterprises, and other institutions have been instructed to scale down their activities, with minimal staff to perform basic services. Where feasible, staff can work from home.
This announcement marks the first case of COVID-19 in the Gambia. This particular confirmed case is a lady in her 20s.
The Ministry of Health in March 2020 immediately set up the National Health Emergency Committee, which comprised several development partners, including WHO, UN agencies, World Bank, and civil society organizations, which helped to develop the National COVID-19 Preparedness and Response Plan. The government allocated $500 million, equivalent of $10 million, to the implementation of the plan. Additionally, on April 2, 2020, the World Bank approved $10 million to help prevent, detect, and respond to the threat posed by COVID-19 and strengthen the national system for public health preparedness. In total, the World Bank allocated $30 million to the COVID-19 response. In April 2020, when there was an acute global shortage of COVID-19 medical equipment and supplies, including in the United States and Europe, the World Bank supported the Ministry of Health in procuring critical medical equipment and supplies. On July 20, 2020, the second largest cargo plane in the world, Antonov AN-124, arrived at the Banjul International Airport from Ankara, Turkey, with 10 well-equipped ambulances that will allow intensive care treatment en route and critical life-saving medical equipment and supplies for the prevention and treatment of COVID-19, including 60 intensive care unit beds, 600,000 surgical masks, 1.2 million gloves, 5,000 oxygen masks, 4 ultrasound machines, 20,000 face shields, 25,000 units of personal protective equipment PPE overall, 30,000 respirators N95, 205 oxygen flow meters, 3 digital 4D color ultrasound machines, 4 ultrasound scanners, and 100 non-touch thermometers. As you may have seen in the other video, the project supported establishing environmentally friendly healthcare waste management in the Gambia. The Ndemban clinic had not been used for years and was dilapidated. The World Bank, along with the United Nations Development Programme UNDP, TAF Africa Global, and Social Security and Housing Finance Corporation jointly financed the renovation of Ndemban Clinic, which became the COVID-19 main treatment center. The government local funds was used to construct 6 new health centers at Chisau Majau, Jali, Mankamankunda, Njau, Salikenye, and Tumana. The project financed medical equipment and furniture for these health centers. During the height of the COVID-19, there were acute shortages of oxygen since there was only one commercial supplier in the country. The World Bank, along with UNDP and WHO, has supported the Ministry of Health to establish an oxygen plant at Ndemban Clinic. The project also procured 2 15-ton capacity cargo trucks for transport of drugs and supplies from the Central Medical Store to the regions and other health facilities. The project supported the procurement and deployment of COVID-19 vaccines. At the time of the COVID-19, the Gambia had adequate storage capacity to handle routine vaccines at temperatures between 2 degrees Celsius and 8 degrees Celsius, but did not have freezers that can store ultra-cold COVID-19 vaccines, such as Pfizer vaccine. Thus, the project procured 3 ultra-cold freezers which collectively can store 1.5 million Pfizer vaccine doses. The project procured 6 pickup trucks and 18 motorcycles to facilitate contact tracing and response, enhanced the 1025 toll-free call center with an interactive software to enable the use of multiple channels such as phone calls, the MOH website, MOH Facebook page, and SMS for reporting and responding to grievances or suggestions. Supported exemplary environmental and social due diligence, including gender-based violence. Supported the designs for the construction and equipment of new food and medicines quality control laboratory building at Brusubi, new biomedical engineering unit at Farato, new MOH office complex building plus the National Health Insurance Authority office. The Ministry of Health, with support from the World Bank, WHO, UN agencies and the civil society organizations, based on the lessons learned from COVID-19, has made great strides in preparation for the next pandemic.
New health centers in some of the few regions. Now, this is about decentralization of the health sector and system. And we've spoken about Chisau Majau, Jali, Mankamankunda, Njau, Salikenye, and Tumana. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, these are brand new facilities, same designs, same models, built to a high standard for the benefit of who, no other person but the people of this country. Please give the ministry and partners a big round of applause, please. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we have few more speeches to make, and of course, like I said earlier, you can follow also online, but of course, to remind all stations broadcasting that initially we had proposed to have the program at 1 o'clock, but definitely because of the nature of this program so interesting, we will please ask for an extension of the broadcast which was supposed to initially end at 1. So I think that is well noted. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, at this point, I wish to invite Dr. Samuel Mills, who is the tax team leader of the World Bank, to do a project midterm review.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, please give him a big round of applause. Dr. Samuel Mills, please.
Your Excellencies, all protocols duly observed and respected. Good afternoon, everyone. It gives me great pleasure to see all these achievements since the advent of COVID-19 in 2020. I recall a former Minister of Health from a different country once lamented that it is ministers of health who are always on standby to work on weekends, to work on holidays, to quench the constant fires in the health sector. As we all know, the health sector is very hot. There are several different professionals from different disciplines to be managed. There are several interest groups, both within and outside the health sector, and they need to be catered to. When the public goes to receive health service and it's of poor quality and unaffordable, they are always ready to complain. And our friends in the media are always lurking around looking for juicy stories to report on. Against this backdrop, I want to congratulate Dr. Amadou Lamin Samati, the Minister of Health, along with his management and all the staff of the Ministry of Health. Thank you very much for your hard work and perseverance. I know it has not been easy, but you are still standing tall in delivering services to the best of your ability. I also want to thank His Excellency President Adama Barrow for his leadership and vision in the health sector. Also thanks to the UN agencies, development partners, and civil service society. I recall during the height of the COVID, we used to have this daily coordination calls, the weekly coordination calls, and you provided sound advice and guidance to the Ministry of Health, and we thank you for that as well. The health sector has come a long way in the last 3 years. Most of you remember that when the first case of COVID was announced in March 2020, there was no public health laboratory that could do COVID tests in this country. There was no public health facility that could treat COVID in this country. It was MRC that stepped in to build the capacity of the Ministry of Health, and eventually by the end of the COVID, we had facilities that could treat COVID and then also test COVID. We saw in the video that prior to COVID, healthcare waste management was virtually non-existent in this country. But you now have modern systems that are environmentally friendly available in this country. The National Development Plan calls for digital transformation and modernization for national development. And perhaps one can say that the Ministry of Health is taking baby steps, or perhaps making great strides in this endeavor. As we saw earlier, for several decades, birth registration was paper-based in this country. It was not until last year that the electronic civil registration and vital statistics system was developed. And the Ministry of Health took the innovative approach of have been a mass registration with the issuance of both a birth certificate and the National Health Insurance card with a unique identification number, the NIN you call it in this country. This effort is a first step and the foundation to digital economy and for good governance, especially when this ECRVS system is interoperable with the systems of other sectors and agencies. The Ministry of Health is also developing several health information systems. For example, a firm has been selected to develop an electronic human resource and management information system. This will enable performance management in the health sector. Yesterday, we had a meeting where we discussed the findings for the first performance appraisal that has been done in the health sector. This has never been done before. Yesterday, we realized that steps are being made, and I want to congratulate the Ministry of Health for this. An electronic health record system is also being developed. And this will allow the capturing of individual patient record. If you go to the hospital now, you'll be lucky if the doctor or the nurse is able to retrieve the records for your previous visits. But with this electronic health record system, it becomes easy to be able to track and provide more efficient service to patients. An electronic asset management information system has also been developed. And currently, there is a firm that is going across the country to take electronic inventory of all the assets, the equipment, various items that the Ministry of Health has. When they complete this exercise sometime in June, July, we'll have electronically all the assets of the Ministry of Health in the system that can be monitored. The Global Fund is also supporting the electronic logistics management information system. This will help in improving supply chain and also help to curb the drug shortages that we currently experience in the country. The Ministry of Health has also developed a proposal for an electronic surveillance system. And this will help, as Dr. Bite said earlier, the residents have done very well in being able to identify, quickly identify the AKI. With an electronic surveillance system, it becomes easy to be able to identify new disease outbreaks. So I think this is very important, and I think I call on partners to also support the Ministry of Health in ensuring that this electronic surveillance system is put in place. I don't want to go through a long list, but last but not the least, an electronic national health insurance system is also being developed. The firm that is developing it should be sitting somewhere in the crowd. They are here to help the ministry to see how best a pilot can be initiated and then eventually roll it out across the country. With the electronic claims system, it becomes easy when health facilities submit their claims to the National Health Insurance Authority for reimbursement. This is processed electronically. It reduces the time that it takes to provide reimbursement to the health facilities. And more importantly, it also helps to prevent fraud in the system. The National Health Insurance Scheme, I understand, will be launched later this year, and it's a government's policy for universal health coverage. I see Mr. Baima saying here, the National Health Insurance Authority CEO, along with Dr. George, who is the board, the staff are working very hard at it. The bank has been supporting, or has supported, the drafting of the National Health Insurance Bill. It was passed by the National Assembly in November 2021. And according to the Act, within 2 years, that is by October this year, all residents in the country should be enrolled in the National Health Insurance Scheme. This is a tall order. The clock is ticking, and it's important that efforts are made with support from development partners and ensuring that this becomes a success. During this midterm review of the Essential Health Services Project, we are also looking at what further support can be provided to the National Health Insurance Scheme. The midterm review of the Essential Health Services Project began last Monday, March 20th, and is going to end on next week, Friday, March 31st. We are looking at some of the key results that have been achieved, the progress made with the various activities, the challenges that the ministry is encountering, and then discuss the way forward on that. We are also looking at some of the financial management processes. We're looking at the procurement processes, and actually in January, we had a 2-week deep dive on environmental and social due diligence. The bank takes this very seriously. And I'm pleased that the ministry has developed several tools that they are implementing on in ESSD. So we congratulate the ministry. I think one can comfortably say that perhaps among the countries in the sub-region, it's a Ministry of Health that has developed the most tools in implementing environmental and social due diligence. I also want to take a single opportunity to thank the Ministry of Health Projects Coordination Unit, Mr. Mamanjai, who spoke earlier, along with his staff. It may interest you to know that prior to COVID-19, they had zero experience in managing World Bank projects, but they have learned along the way. They've made a lot of progress, and they are managing all these activities that were displayed earlier. So I want to say a big thank you to Mamanjai for his leadership. In conclusion, Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, while a lot of progress has been made, challenges still remain, particularly when it comes to capacity in the health sector. But we remain cautiously optimistic. The best days in the health sector are yet to come. From the World Bank side, we stand ready to support the ministry, to continue to support you in ensuring that every resident in the Gambia has access to quality, essential health services. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Dr. Samuel Mills. I would want to request for us to give him one more round of applause, please, for a job well done. Like he said, it has not been an easy journey, and the journey still continues. To the Ministry of Health, bravo, and of course the PCU unit, the entire team under Abdullah Imam Jai, thank you so much. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the icing on the cake. That is the most waited for remarks. Our host for today, that is no other than the Honorable Minister of Health, Dr. Ahmad Lamin Samate. I ask you all to please stand and give him a round of applause, a standing ovation. This has happened under his watch. Thank you.
You may be seated, please. Please be seated, yeah. Huh?
I know you are a maximum.
Hmm?
Yes. 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 Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. Master of Ceremonies, His Excellency, the President of the Republic, Mr. Adama Barrow, represented here by the Minister of Finance and Economic Affairs, Honorable C.D. Keita, colleague cabinet ministers here present, National Assembly members, permanent secretaries and other government officials, the Governor of West Coast Region, the United States Ambassador and other members of the Diplomatic Corps, UNDP Country Representative, the World Bank Resident Representative, the World Bank Health Task Team Leader, and the visiting World Bank team, senior colleagues present here, and other colleagues in our midst, the staff of the Ministry of Health, the CMD and other CEOs who are also present here, the PCU team who have been doing all this work behind the scenes, the police band, the media personnel present here, well-wishers of the Ministry of Health and the government and the people of the Gambia, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I'm indeed honored and humbled to stand in front of you today to give these comments. First of all, I start by thanking the Almighty Allah for making this possible. This is all Allah's help. When Allah's help comes, doors open. We'll tell you what we've been doing differently. We are not saying that's why Allah is helping us, but we'll tell you the little things that we've been doing since we started. But we thank the Almighty Allah for making all this possible. As our country recovers from the difficult period of the COVID-19 pandemic, the Gambia health system has continued to build resilience to better provide healthcare services to the entire population. Therefore, our gathering here today is to witness some of the giant strides the government is taking to recover from the pandemic and provide the citizens with the required services for better living standards. However, as part of the recovery, the Ministry of Health has finalized its new National Health Policy 2021 to 2030 and its accompanying investment plan, the National Health Sector Strategic Plan 2021 to 2026, with a vision to ensure a healthier and more productive population through universal health coverage. Our mission in the new policy is to create an enabling framework for full participation and provide leadership in the integrated delivery of quality, effective, and responsive health services, and the prevention measures to improve the physical, mental, and social well-being of our people in the Gambia. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is imperative to note that access to healthcare services in the Gambia has been clearly articulated in the new Green Recovery National Development Plan 2023 to 2027, in which the government, during the lifespan of the NDP, will give priority to boosting investment in our people to build the requisite human capital for improved living standards and to power the economy. This will be done through human capital development, and it has been already demonstrated as part of the World Bank support to the Gambia. Our focus in general during the implementation of the health sector strategic plan is to provide quality healthcare delivery for everyone living in the country to ensure that basic social services are accessible and affordable to all, and improved social and child protection healthcare services are in place for the most vulnerable of our population. The Gambia has registered significant achievements because of the improved government and partner funding, leading to access to much improved basic health services across the country. However, the sector still faces some challenges due to the changing demographic and disease profile. The country now seeing a rise in non-communicable diseases across the age strata. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, to address these challenges mentioned earlier, government through the Ministry of Health has started taking major steps as part of the World Bank support to train health workers, refurbish, expand and equip primary healthcare facilities across the country. In addition, the government, through the support from the bank, has established a postgraduate training program for healthcare personnel in various categories, and has equally established a national health insurance authority to facilitate the rollout of health insurance to support the country's universal health coverage agenda. Distinguished guests, we've all seen the demonstration of the partnership between the World Bank and the Ministry of Health, by extension, the whole government apparatus. The World Bank projects mentioned here are a good list of what is happening. Certainly, it's not exhaustive. There are quite a number of items that we have not listed. But it is a success story. But it started long before now. But we wish to tell you that this is a testimony of the confidence the bank and partners have in the leadership of His Excellency, the President of the Republic of the Gambia, Mr. Adama Barrow. I do not think any bank or any partner will put resources in where they think they'll not be used maximally or they'll be wasted. Therefore, for World Bank to get this committed to the people of the Gambia, to the Ministry of Health, to the government of the Gambia, that means they have the confidence that the resources they are bringing in will be put to the use of the people of the country, especially the vulnerable. The government of His Excellency, when he started, inherited a very challenging health sector. I was at the hospital. We struggled to get sutures then, catheters. There were points that we had only one suction machine that was being shared between the theater and the wards, so the nurses were running around to save patients' lives. When the suction machine is in the theater, they will run to borrow it to save a patient's life on one of the wards before the theater requests for it to be returned back. When the president started, less than 1 year in office, he wanted to know what the challenges of the hospital was. And we mentioned this to him. And he did not hesitate. He immediately called the finance minister then and said they should scrape around to look for resources to buy equipment for the Edward Francis Small Teaching Hospital, and they provided about $34.7 million for the provision of life-saving equipment. This included monitors, pulse oximeters, suction machines, oxygen concentrators, and so on and so forth. This was remarkable. And this was when I knew that this president is committed to uplifting the livelihoods of the people of this country, to fixing the problems of the health sector. When I was given this privilege, this opportunity to serve the people of this country, we forged ahead, and his daily commitment to the welfare of the people of this country is manifested by the kinds of instructions we receive from him and the kind of support. Every now and then he'll call the finance minister. You'll need to support the health sector because I would have gone there to say, you have to talk to your finance minister. I do that quite frequently. I say to the president, you need to call your finance minister. He needs to do this. This one we cannot compromise. And he smiles and calls the finance minister, and we get what we need to get in the health sector. The mere fact that we had very sad stories. We were on tour in Badibu somewhere, not because it's in Badibu, but it's a real life story. And we had the narration. A woman came, a bad companion was narrating the story. A pregnant woman was in labor. At night, they were going, it was in Kerardo, to the health facility on a donkey cart. Midway, during the journey, wolves started to come out to howl, crisscrossing the road, making it impossible for them to reach the nearest health facility. They had to go home. They had to go back, and that woman delivered at home. We had a similar story in Nauleru. A similar story, this time a pregnant woman on a horse cart being taken to deliver in one of the facilities, and again they got attacked by wolves. The horse itself was so scared, was running at full speed on that bumpy road until it got to the highway, then it reduced its speed. Now these have been the realities, and His Excellency said this is not possible. He's not going to accept that. That needs to change, and we need to do something about it. And immediately he gave instructions. He said, you go and work with your team. We must get community ambulances in this country. And this is how we got 80 community ambulances that are stationed across the length and breadth of this country. These ambulances are fully air-conditioned Toyota Land Cruiser vehicles that pick these pregnant women from their homes now to take them to health facilities. I think this is remarkable. Now, as part of the partnership, they've mentioned the oxygen machines here. There has been a very strong partnership between the World Bank, UNDP, Aysata is here, our very good sister, and Faye is also here. They've all worked very, very hard with the WHO partners and so on and so forth to ensure that we get our own oxygen generating plants in this country for the first time in the history of the Gambia. We didn't have any before now. The only one, as Sam mentioned, is a commercial one, providing oxygen, struggling to provide oxygen, especially during the COVID-19 pandemic. But as we speak to you now, we have 4 oxygen plants in this country, in the health sector. 2 at Ndeban, 1 at EFSTH, and 1 at Bansang. These are some of the remarkable strides that we've achieved in the health sector. And I think really they've said it all. I'm just very happy to be part of this process. It's a unique opportunity, and we keep on thanking the Almighty Allah. But what we've been doing in the health sector, certainly, we try to restructure to ensure efficiency, transparency, and accountability. That's what we've been doing differently, or we've been strengthening rather. And we believe probably the partners, they've been quietly looking at what is happening and discussing amongst themselves, and that is why they are forthcoming with many of these facilities and these funds. With regards to accountability, we have changed what used to happen. In the health sector, we say nobody is going to be given an impress now for somebody to put bags of monies in bags and going around the country being paymaster to pay people. We say no, that needs to stop, because that has the potential of yielding ghost workers here and there. We say we don't want that. So now we introduced an electronic digital payment system to the bank accounts of the individuals who are beneficiaries, and that has saved costs in the country. Of course, that has not been easy. We battled to ensure that happens, but we stood our grounds and we said this is how we want to run this health sector, and there has to be accountability and transparency, and that has been yielding a lot of fruits. How did some of these projects start? We cannot continue without thanking Nathan, who was the country director for World Bank based in Senegal. Nathan has been very, very supportive, extremely supportive. You know, each time we want additional financing, we first of all did our homework with the finance minister. We say we need to do this, and this you need to support. And then we go to Nathan and the team. But of course, Faye is the country rep here. They've become very familiar with us. That's why we call them by their first names, because we work very, very closely with all of these people. But Faye has been very, very supportive. So behind Sam stood Faye, you know, giving him all the support. Well, for Sam, it goes without saying. You've seen his passion. You've seen the sentiments he demonstrated here. I think Sam loves Gambia. You see, for some of these positions, if the person is not committed, if he doesn't love what he's doing, many of these possibilities, believe me, we wouldn't have known. You go, we have issues, we mention it to Sam, and he says, Minister, I think we can do A, B, and C. If he didn't tell us we could do A, B, and C, I wouldn't know, and the thing wouldn't have been done. And most of these, this is how we achieve them. I'll give you an example how the waste management thing started. And by the way, I've been hearing that it is one of the best in the whole sub-region, the waste management systems we've demonstrated here. I was having a chat with him. I told him once, whilst I was a hospital consultant surgeon operating at the hospital, I stood out watching through the window, waiting to go into theater to operate on a patient late in the evening. Then I was looking at the direction of the hospital water tank. That's Edward Francis Small Teaching Hospital. But the waste area, the storage area for the hospital waste was next door. And I saw a vulture pick up a human intestine that was discarded after an operation. And the vulture flew with it and went and perched on top of that tank. So you can imagine if that tank had holes, that water could have been contaminated. So I mentioned this to Sam in a chat. So when the opportunity came, he said to me, Honorable, I think we can do something about the waste management system in your country. And this is how it started. There are similar stories about the oxygen system and all the other systems. Madam Saturday, they had long meetings, weekends, very late meetings, coordinating this, and there has been very, very strong partnership supporting the health sector. So we keep on asking ourselves, why are these people so keen to support us? Probably they'll be in the best position to answer, but I do not know. But I think because they have seen the level of commitment on the side of government, from the leadership of His Excellency, and our own humble efforts on the side of the Ministry of Health to ensure that the people of this country get the high quality healthcare that they deserve. Of course, this wouldn't have been possible without teamwork. You could have the best leadership. If you don't have a good team, certainly you cannot succeed. But I believe I have a wonderful team. The permanent secretaries are here, Mr. Jete, Dr. Ka, permanent secretary, deputy permanent secretary, Madam Fanta Baiseka. Their support has been remarkable, and Madam Seka and her team coordinated this program, and I think they did it well. We thank you very much. And they've been ably supported by the permanent secretaries. But of course, the directors are right here. Director Bite is here. Director Jibril Jaju and Buba Manjang and others. I can see quite a number of others. Now, we wouldn't have gotten to where we are without their commitment, hard work, and dedication, and their perseverance. We worked very, very long hours, but they never complained. If we say tomorrow, Sunday, we all need to be in the office, they will all run following me. I think that's remarkable, and I have the best team, and I want to thank you very much. The Ministry of Health is very big. Probably it has the biggest mix of professionals, and it's like a football team. Each member of that team needs to play well for us to succeed collectively. Without the participation of any member, if any member is missing, there'll be a gap. So we want to extend our sincere appreciation to the entire team of the Ministry of Health. You've all been doing remarkably well. Without your contributions, without your participation, this wouldn't have been possible. We thank you all for your contributions. Distinguished guests, maybe I'm talking a lot because I'm very excited, but I cannot conclude without recognizing my very senior colleagues. When I walked in, I didn't recognize the faces, because when you walk up here, I'm sure you know that sometimes we panic before we sit down and take a deep breath and then relax, and then we can then recognize faces. But I can see quite a number of our very senior colleagues, Professor Kasama, Professor Salah, Professor Hannah Fall. I'm sure you've not seen her for a long time. She's right there. But we want to recognize her presence. And Dr. Kabir Cham, the registrar of the council. Professor Nyan is also here. Dr. Omar Jan, and some other senior professionals. Actually, we can hardly talk when we see these people and we do not recognize them. This is our training. So probably whether I would have been punished or reprimanded, or I would have felt bad, but anytime we see these people, because, and I'm telling you, probably they are not the only ones. In fact, they are not the only ones. I'm only able to see them now as I stand in front of you. But they have all contributed immensely to the health sector in this country. They have done a lot since some of us were in nursery school, primary school, high school, and they still continue to support the sector in their capacities. And I think I say to my younger colleagues, we are very fortunate to have these people, whilst we are given these responsibilities to work, to study affairs of the health sector. Having these people giving us the support, the prayers, the guidance, I think we are very fortunate, and we thank them all once again. But I also want to tell them and inform them and assure them that we are also optimistic. We have a crop of young doctors, young nurses, young public health officials, young physiotherapists, radiologists, pharmacists, laboratory scientists, and other professionals in the health sector who have been working very hard to ensure that the systems continue to excel, taking over from where you've left it, but also encouraging the young ones. You've seen the postgraduate training program. You see, what we see in other countries, sometimes the young ones, when they get their degrees and diplomas, do not support other young people coming up. They say, after all, we've got our own. Let us do our work and excel. But we've seen a different trend here. You have a lot of young professionals, doctors, public health officials, nurses, who are holding the hands of younger ones and bringing them to the level that they have achieved, and I think it's a remarkable thing, and we should thank them. Mr. Chair, distinguished guests, we once again want to thank all the participants who have come here this early morning. Most people are fasting, and I think it's a show of solidarity, it's a show of commitment, and it has sent a strong message to us that the people of this country are aware of what we are doing, and that you are all ready to support the Ministry of Health, get the country's health sector to where we want to get it to ensure that His Excellency, the President's vision for this country is achieved. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. Please give him a round of applause once again. I think, with due respect, Honorable Minister, I personally don't want to cut you. Your statement was quite insightful, it was quite educative, and I think I would just want to add that you have raised the bar as far as standards are concerned in this country. Please give him a round of applause, please. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I guess we have all seen, we've all heard the giant strides the ministry and government of the Gambia and partners, World Bank, have done to improve the healthcare service in this country. But I must also acknowledge that during the minister's deliberations, he has also revealed the secret and key to the success of his ministry, which is, first, a great leadership, that is himself as the Honorable Minister. But of course, having a great and young, dynamic team working under the ministry, from the Permanent Secretary, downstairs to PS2, to DPS, and all the directors here present. It takes great leadership to move a big ministry like the Ministry of Health. So, Honorable Minister, thank you. Let's give him one more round of applause, please. At this point, I would want to invite our keynote speaker, who is deputizing for His Excellency the President of the Republic of the Gambia, His Excellency President Adama Barrow. Therefore, I would wish to invite the Honorable Minister of Finance and Economic Affairs, Honorable C.D. Keita, to deliver a remark on behalf of His Excellency the President Adama Barrow. Please give him a round of applause, please.
Thank you, thank you. Yes. Yeah. I hear you, thank you, thank you. Well, as delegated by His Excellency, the President of the Republic, Adama Barrow, I'm here to convey his remarks, and they go as follows. Honorable colleague, cabinet ministers here present, members of the National Assembly, the Ambassador of the United States, the Federal Republic of Nigeria Ambassador, and all the diplomatic and consular corps here present, the World Bank resident rep, and the task team leader for the Gambia, the representative of the United Nations systems and other development partners, staff of the Ministry of Health and other government institutions and civil society organizations, students in the health sector, members of the media fraternity, all other protocols duly and respectively observed. Good afternoon to you all, and Ramadan Kareem. I'm indeed very honored and pleased to address this gathering to show my personal and entire government of the Gambia's commitment towards the attainment of the targets set out in the health sector. My government is committed to achieving universal health coverage by ensuring inclusive, equitable, and quality health service delivery to enable all Gambians and residents of the Gambia to be healthy and to achieve their full potential. Thus, I would like to assure this August gathering and all Gambians at home and abroad and residents of the Gambia of my commitment to strengthen and expand the health sector. This we are doing by putting in place appropriate and well-equipped infrastructure, increasing the number of health workers, and building their capacities as we accelerate our tireless effort to grow the economy, enhance hope, dignity, and uplift the livelihoods of Gambians. I will further say that the health is an important pillar of the human capital, as good health makes people realize their potential as productive members of society. Health is a fundamental determinant of economic growth through its positive impact in reducing productivity losses, increasing productivity among our youths and adults, and improving our children's learning and education acquisition. Therefore, adequate investment in healthcare will no doubt lead to improvement in the health sector and bring quality health care near the doorstep of every Gambian. My government's commitment to the healthcare sector is abundantly shown by the huge infrastructure investment made since the year 2020. Excluding salaries and other support to the health sector, my government has spent more than $395 million to rehabilitate the Edward Francis Teaching Hospital and the Polyclinic, and build 6 new health facilities across the country, respectively in Jao, Tumana, Mankamankunda, Kisimajao, Kianjali, and Salikinya. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, my presence here through my deputizing for him is today giving me the opportunity to witness some of the highlights registered since 2020. And with the implementation of the Gambia Essential Health Service Strengthening Project and the COVID-19 Response Project, I am indeed happy with the progress registered thus far. I appreciate with sincere thanks the contribution to the tune of $110 million grant from the World Bank in the health sector since 2020. World Bank is a trusted and reliable partner. Only human resources for health, my government through the World Bank support has established a postgraduate medical school and have also employed more than 16 international experts in different areas who have started work and are providing training in 6 specialties in the country. For the first time in the Gambia, we have more than 6 specialists trained at home in different fields, and we will also witness the rollout of more specialized nursing, dentistry, pharmacy programs as part of my government's agenda to use a more efficient model in development of our human capital stock for sustainable development. And this is consistent with the strategic direction for improving the healthcare service delivery for the people of the Gambia. distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, my government believes that access to healthcare is a human right. This means every single individual living in the Gambia is entitled to receive the best healthcare possible. And this is precisely the reason why my government champions the expansion and strengthening of the healthcare sector and is committed to ensure that we have a full state-of-the-art teaching hospital in Farato. We have started the construction of the National Emergency Treatment Center, Intensive Care Unit, the National Public Laboratory, National Blood Transfusion Center, and the Diagnostic Imaging Center. I would like to commend the World Bank for the additional support provided for the renovation and expansion and equipment provided to the health facilities across the country. More importantly, the bank is also supporting the preliminary studies and subsequent construction of 2 regional hospitals for Brikama and Basse. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, on drugs and food safety, my government is committed to providing high-quality medicine which meets local and international standards for the people. With the support of the World Bank, the Gambia will soon witness the construction of high-quality laboratory complex at Bursubi to test both food and drugs coming into the country to make sure that Gambians get access to safe drugs and food. My government values safe disposal and subsequent destruction of medical waste as a key step in the reduction of illness or injury, and as such, I'm extending my gratitude once again to the World Bank for the support rendered in the realization of the Clinical Waste Treatment Center and the installation of the modern waste treatment machines in Banjul and Farato, and the incinerators in all the regions across the country. Together, we can protect healthcare workers and communities by ensuring proper management of clinical waste. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, this intensive investment and intervention in the healthcare sector is historic in the sense that in more than 50 years of our existence as an independent country, this government is on track to transform the healthcare landscape. And as a head of government, I'm glad to champion this effort and play a critical leadership to transform the healthcare delivery system in the Gambia. I wish to also state that my government is grateful to the support we are getting from our development partners and other stakeholders with a view to improving the health of every person living in the Gambia. To this end, our special gratitude goes to the World Bank Group for taking the lead in funding this project. To conclude, let me seize this opportunity to express government's and my personal appreciation to the World Bank for the financial and technical contribution to this project and its continued support and commitment to the development of our country. I want to reiterate my government's readiness and commitment to support the World Bank and the entire UN systems and other partners in the implementation of the country partnership framework for the year 2022 to 2026. Special thanks goes to Dr. Samuel Mills, the World Bank Task Team Leader, who has provided tremendous technical assistance to the Ministry of Health in realizing these achievements in such a short period. And I think Sam deserves a honorary citizenship if he chooses to. I would like to seize this opportunity also to thank Honorable Minister, my colleague, Dr. Lamin Samate, and the entire personnel in the healthcare sector for their tireless effort to deliver the quality care in this Gambia. Dr. Samate, now I know why we are arguing all the time. I'm seeing the results of that. I conclude by calling on all development partners to join hands with my government through stronger collaboration and cross-sectoral partnerships on this renewed journey to improve the healthcare sector and uplift the socio-economic standing of the entire nation. The healthcare system and the healthcare ministry and the development partners, including the World Bank and my government, have ably utilized the adage that says, never allow a crisis to go to waste. The multiple crises that we witness globally recently was leveraged to revamp the health sector to levels never seen before in the history of this country. I thank you all for your kind attention. God bless the Gambia.
Now, could we give him a standing ovation, please? That is Honorable C.D. Keita, deputizing for His Excellency, the President of the Republic of the Gambia. Let's give him a round of applause, please. You may take your seats. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. The Gambia Police Band. Police Band, thank you so much. By now, I know a lot of Ture Kundas, Keita Kundas, Samate Kundas, the Jovens, the Davos. The list goes on. Quite hungry, but nonetheless, it's Ramadan. I'm sure they can brave and wait till the fast break period. But nonetheless, the organizing committee, of course, have provided some logistics for everybody who have attended. And I wish to also add that the hall was so full to capacity that we also had to use a secondary hall outside and project what is happening inside the hall here. So thanks to the giant efforts of Fanta and team for a great mobilization that has been done today. Of course, the ministry, PCU, Mr. Abdullah Imam Jai and team, Satang, of course, Adam, Mbenga, and the rest of the team. I couldn't mention everybody. Of course, Fatkine also, I'm sure she's in our midst, and all the rest of the members of the PCU team. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we have come almost to the end of this very important program, and I would sincerely wish to thank the members of the High Table, Ambassador of the United States to the Gambia, and all other distinguished guests who are on the High Table. So, organizing committee, could you please now come in and do the needful for the Ture Kundas while the program will soon wrap up. At this point, I have the singular honor and pleasure to invite the PC for the Project Coordination Unit, Mr. Abdullah Imam Jai, to give us the closing remarks. Please give him a round of applause, please.
Thank you very much, Mr. MC, for, as usual, putting me on the spot. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I believe now we have come to the end of what I would term a very, very successful event, mashallah. And having said that, I want to seize this opportunity on behalf, of course, of the Honorable Minister and the staff at the Ministry, and being requested by the PS honored to do this, to thank everybody for honoring our invitation to attend this program. Now, as you all know, it was a media event cum public sensitization event, and I believe we have done so successfully. Now, let me quickly thank everybody from His Excellency the President, cabinet ministers who have also been very supportive of the sector, but particularly the various ministers of health, of finance. Now, in the case of Honorable C.D. Keita, that is what at least I personally would expect from him, because he also was a member of staff of the Ministry of Health, being the former financial controller working on a World Bank project, the PHPNP. He was, at the time, also my financial controller, because I was then much younger and coordinating that project. So thank you very much, Minister Keita. Now, I also want to thank the various directors at the Ministry of Health, and also, by extension, the various permanent secretaries that we have been collaborating with, and the various ministries, because all the ministries, local government, digital economy, Ministry of Finance, etc., works have been extremely supportive. Let me thank also the members of the organizing committee under the leadership of PS Dr. Ka and DPS Fanta. I think certainly your leadership has been extremely useful, and we have all seen the results. Thanks to all the presenters, of course, who I believe have also done a brilliant job. It was not easy, of course, to prepare these slides, which were time-based, but again, I think they deserve a round of applause. Thanks to the development partners, the UN agencies, the American Embassy, the Chinese Embassy, and all other partners who have been our colleagues, our friends and neighbors, Nigeria, etc., who have been extremely supportive. And thanks also to the various heads of the hospitals who are here, the CEOs, who also have been very, very supportive. Thanks to the presenters, I said, the producers of the various videos, the governors, the local authorities, regional health directors who are also here, and of course, security. Finally, but not the least, I'll be doing a lot of this service if I don't give a special thank to the World Bank team, both in Washington, regionally, and in country. And of course, with Sam, I don't think we should thank him. I think we should just pray for him, for God's long life and prosperity and good health. Now, in the PCU, I'm surrounded by ladies. And I believe also, I must say, that they are extremely committed, they're extremely hardworking, and I also want to, as the head, thank all of them and express our appreciation for everything that they've done. Having said that, Mr. MC, I think I've said enough. And finally, thank you very much, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, for honoring our invitation once again. Thank you.
Thank you very much, PC. Indeed, you haven't said much. You have said quite important words of gratitude, which draws this program to an end. And we wish to call on the Gambia Police Band to lead us into the national anthem of the Republic of the Gambia. Please, may we all rise for the national anthem of the Gambia. Immediately after the national anthem, members of the high table, we request that you have photo opportunity session at the photo section at the main hall, then followed by other dignitaries. Thank you. The Gambia Police Band, please. Thank you very much.